I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land.
Call in or text to 661-842-K. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for, live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Well, you are listening to the Ralph Bailey Show on 96.1 FM. You can stream us live at Kern Radio on the YouTube channel, also kernradio.com, and I believe our new AM number is 1280 or 1230?
30.
1230. So you are listening to the Ralph Bailey Show. He is on a short vacation today, not necessarily a vacation, but a staycation, having a little minor surgery, but he will be back to work next week. My name is Cassie Bittle, and I will be filling in for Ralph for the next 3 hours. For those of you that don't know who I am or why I'd be sitting in this seat, my family owns and operates a small restaurant in downtown Bakersfield called Cassie Steakhouse. We are located at 2515 F Street in downtown Bakersfield, and we have been in Bakersfield since 1939. So I have had many years of bartending behind the bar and serving tables and cleaning toilets and washing dishes, all the good stuff. But luckily with that time, it's given me the gift and gab. So I'm very, very privileged to be able to sit in this seat and fill in for one of my very close friends, Ralph Bailey. One of the crazy things looking at social media this week, it's actually my 9-year anniversary of being a guest on the Ralph Bailey Show. Can you believe that, Dawson? How long have you been here?
Like 6 months.
Welcome to the family. Finally, I've got a little seniority around this place. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much for listening in today. It's going to be a very long show, 3 hours, and I've got a different guest on every half hour. So I'm really proud to be able to have an opportunity to introduce you to some of my close friends and some people that are doing some really neat things here in Bakersfield. In the first hour, we're going to be talking to Michael Torgeson, and he will be at Lake Ming this weekend. The National Jet Boat Association is going to have a big event out there. So we're going to talk about the National Jet Boat Association, what they do and what they're going to be doing out at Lake Ming this weekend. At the 3:30 hour, we have Rick Bentley coming in, and we'll be able to talk about some movie news and different things that are come out. So if you're not quite the outdoorsy person going out to Lake Ming, that'll give you an opportunity to maybe stay in a cool theater somewhere or watch something from your couch. About 4 o'clock, we'll have Cappy Abernathy on. 4:30, we'll have Chief Stratton, which I'm really excited to have him come on and talk to us about what his plans for Bakersfield PD and for our public safety are going to be over his residency. We also have Jamal Musa from the Open Door Network coming on to talk about their active work here in Bakersfield, because I've been seeing those trucks all over town. So I'm really proud for them to come on and talk about what they're doing for the city of Bakersfield. And at the 5:30 hour, we will have Matthew Martin from the Young Republicans group. And then he also is Chief of Staff for Jeff Flores. So I'm excited to have him come on and talk about this last weekend and having Chad Bianco and Steve Hilton here in town and everything that we did. So we've had a very busy couple weeks. I'm excited to bring these guests on. And Dawson, do we have an opportunity to get Mike on the phone already?
I can give him a call right
Go ahead
now.
and give him a call while I kind of go over a few things here. So first guest is actually out at the track getting all set up. So I am lucky enough to have him spare a little break to talk to us about what's going on out at Lake Ming this weekend. And I do have their little flyer here. So it is May Madness, and it's the National Jet Boat Association. And what's really neat about this is they're the ones that actually brought Lake Ming here. And so that lake was actually built for the jet boats, and they have been coming into Cassie Steakhouse for the last 50 years. One of my favorite things is seeing, just all of the shirts and all of the teams coming in and sharing a meal. The first night's unloading and everybody gets to know one another and, sends drinks to one another. And then on the second night, it's those that's made it through. So it's always fun to come down to Cassie Steakhouse and see what teams are there seeing us in, also the Famosa drag strip. That's always a fun weekend. Sometimes they'll kind of play back to back, and we'll have both the boat racers and the drag racers in the building at one time. And the smell of jet fuel and just good old Bakersfield money is great. So I always recommend getting out and supporting both of those organizations, because they bring a lot of people to Bakersfield and Kern County. It's not just our restaurants that's busy when these type of events come to town. The Padres busy. All of our hotels are full, bringing in that tax that helps with our landscaping and our roads. And then it also helps the local businesses. I know Hungry Hunter and Eureka's, they always get packed with these racers as well. So if you have an opportunity this weekend, it will be at Lake Ming. You can bring lawn chairs, you can sit there and you can watch these jet boats go by, because it's one thing to talk about it, but to actually feel the presence and be there as the boats are speeding by, it is insane to just think that these people are able to do that, because I don't think I could ever get in one of those. Dawson, were we able to get Mike on the phone?
I'm not sure if this is the right number.
Uh-oh, let's make sure. Do we need to take a little break? Sorry about that, guys. I can keep talking a little bit as we make sure this is, or if Michael, if you're listening right now, go ahead and give us a call too. That might make it easier for those that are listening. The phone number here at the radio station is 842-5376. So anytime that we're on here, go ahead and give us a call if you have any questions about anything that we're talking about, or maybe any subjects that you might have that you want to bring up. We'll definitely go ahead and try to get those on here as well. And I'd love to hear from you. If you're a customer of Casey Steakhouse or just a fan of Ralph Bailey, we would love to have your phone call today and make this a really interactive show. So I'm looking forward to this afternoon. And while we get Mike on the phone, we can talk about a few other things. So in the last 2 weeks, we had the Lincoln dinner at the Marriott downtown, which was really a neat experience for me. It was my first time being there and just seeing a room full of very active community members looking for change in this great state of California, and seeing not only just the people that support the Republican Party, but seeing them engaging with those local leaders. Mayor Go was there, and being able to have that one-on-one contact with ours is something that is truly special to Kern County. I have friends that live all over this country, and they don't have quite the sense of community that we do. Even in such a small town as Bakersfield, we are starting to really become a large place, and our population grows with every year. And our leadership really shows how much they care by being active roles in our community. So I'm very thankful for everybody here in Bakersfield. And it looks like we have got our technical errors up and going. Apparently, I can't write down phone numbers. Well, welcome to the show, Michael. How are you?
Hi, Cassie. How are you?
I'm doing good. I've got 3 hours of filling time, and I thought, what better way than to start out the show with the National Jet Boat Association. How long have you been a driver?
I have been driving boats for almost 30 years.
30 years. That's insane. And I think I finally met you about 15 years ago. Charlotte had her spring party at her house over there off of Laramie. And I got in trouble for wearing heels inside your boat. And that picture's still up on Facebook.
Luckily it wasn't my boat, but
now that boat at that time, so that one was it called Big Red?
Yep, Big Red one.
And the boat that we're in now is called Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad, yes.
Tell us a little bit about these boats and what spectators can expect coming out to the boat races.
So I think there's usually about 60 or so boats out here. Our class, there's usually about 20 in. And there's all kinds of different boats, from boats that are what they call open flat bottom style boats, which is what we run, which is, kind of old 1970s-ish looking style boat. Ours has a carbureted motor in it, based loosely on a Chevy. You have things like that. You have jet boats that, use a jet pump as propulsion instead of a prop. You have some of those. All the way to capsuled hydros, where the driver's inside a safety capsule inside the boat. All kinds of different stuff.
Now, what kind of speeds do these boats go to?
Last race, I think we had somebody hit just over 200 was our top speed last race.
That's awesome. And when I've been there a few times, and I love going out and watching. And for those that don't know, the weather out at Lake Ming is wonderful. You get a nice breeze. You can bring one chair and sit there and watch these boats. But what always seems to amaze me is they almost look like they're not in the water. They look like they're floating above the water. Is that real, or what makes that illusion look that way?
Well, it's that way because that's the ideal way to run them. The less boat in the water, the faster it's going to go. It's a lot less drag in the air than there is on the surface of the water. So you want as little as the boat in the water at all the time.
And how far do you guys go? Like, how far is the track?
It's 1,000 feet.
Oh my gosh, that is crazy.
1,000 feet, and our boat covers that 1,000 feet in about 5.5 seconds.
Wow. Now, if you're looking for something to do this weekend, Lake Ming is going to be the place to be. It is $25 to get in, and I believe kids get in, or 12 and under are free. So if you're looking for something fun to do with your kids, get out there and get them engaged in what these guys do. It is so much fun to watch them speeding past and being able to cheer on the different boats. Now, Lake Ming has been active for 35 years. Is that how long that your team's been going out to Lake Ming?
I think it's been going long, a little bit longer than that, but I don't know exactly. But we've been almost 30 years. This team that we have now, I think, is 9 or 10 years that we've been doing this group of people. This boat's owned by Ron Hammer. He has a crew of people, and they've been doing it for about that long.
Tell us a little bit.
I wanted to mention something too about you were mentioning the coming in. Once you get into the races, all the pits are accessible. You don't have to buy anything extra. So your kids want to come up and check out a boat up close or talk to some of the crew guys or the drivers. All the pits are open as part of getting into the track. So there's no extra charge on top of that.
So if you've got a little man or a little girl in your life that loves speedboats or anything that goes fast, playing with those little trucks, this is a perfect opportunity to get them out there in the sunshine and good weather. That's a wonderful point to bring up, and to get those families out there to take pictures with the drivers, share on social media some of these really cool events that get brought down to Bakersfield, because these events support our economy several times a year. Everything from the hotels to the restaurants to the gas stations. These individuals are spending money and time within our community, and they're absolutely wonderful people. Ron Hammer and his family's been coming into Casey's now for probably 35 years. We've got their
long time.
pictures up on the wall. They have become part of our family through the years. We've had employees come and go, but one thing that's been consistent is Team Hammer coming in and supporting us. And we really appreciate your team and Ron and everybody that comes to see us. So thank you, Michael, for everything that you do for us.
Of course. No, we feel the same.
That's amazing. Well, if you're looking for anything to do this weekend, I cannot stress it enough. Lake Ming is going to be the place to be. It's just off the beaten path. There's going to be lots of drivers, over 60 boats, all kinds of different personalities and things to go look at. They do have food out there, and they allow you to bring in your lawn chair and just sit out on the grass and watch the water in the boat. So, Michael, thank you so much for your time. Is there anything else you think our listeners need to know about the NJ?
I think we've covered it. I just kind of want to reiterate what you said. It's just I'm actually sitting out here right now out in the pits, and it's just beautiful out here with the water and the river in the back and all the green. It's a great place. People Bakersfield can get the credit it deserves for some of the beautiful places here.
Oh, we appreciate that. So before I let you go, where are some of the other tracks up and down California?
Well, that's funny you should ask that. If you want to watch drag boat racing in California, this is your only option.
Wow. I had heard news.
No other lakes allow drag boat races in California anymore. We used to have all kinds of them up and down the state, but good old Bakersfield's the only one that lets us keep doing it in the state here. So we as racers, we appreciate that because any other races we have to travel quite a ways for.
Wow, that's a really neat fact about Kern County and the fact that we support those that support us. So thank you for bringing your sport to our town. We hope to keep you here for many, many years and being able to serve your family and friends. Thank you, Michael, for your time. I truly appreciate you.
Thank you, Cassie.
All right, I'll see you this weekend.
Of course.
All right, thank you, Michael. All right, listeners. So if you are looking for something to do, the National Jet Boat Association will be at Lake Ming this weekend, the 16th and 17th. The gates open up at 8 a.m. and the races will be going on all day. Like Michael said, there's 60 boats that'll be competing. You can take your children and family out there, take some pictures with some drivers, get to know them, look at their boats, and maybe it might be something that your kids might be interested in. Mechanics is definitely something that we need, and we're going to continue to need for many, many years. So if there's any way to get our kids excited about this type of stuff, it's definitely something to get behind. So if you're looking for anything to do, you can go to the National Jet Boat Association's May Madness at Lake Ming here in Kern County. Only place you can see it in the state of California. Do we need to take a little break, or do I get to keep rolling on through? Little break. All right, we're going to take a little break, and then on the backside, we'll have a few minutes before Rick Bentley comes on to talk about some news this weekend. Thank you. You are listening to The Ralph Bailey Show.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN. First Look with Scott Cox, mornings 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Monday edition of the First Look program. Hey, with any luck, maybe the city council will decide what to do on the sewer rate increases. Or maybe the board of supervisors will figure out who's going to take care of the old open door network situation. We will have the hot list. We will have news and traffic and weather. It's all happening 6 to 9 a.m. right here at News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
For garage doors done right every time, use King Door Company. Your garage door is a big deal, from the look of your home to the safety and security it provides. So if you need installation, service, adjustments, or repairs, call the professionals at King Door Company. All their employees are very well educated on all garage door products. King Door takes training to the next level with their King Door Academy, an in-house training facility that ensures you'll get the right answer to any garage door questions. King Door knows that when it's all said and done, it's all about customer satisfaction. And that all starts with great employees. So call the certified garage door professionals at King Door Company today at 397-2744 and get your door fixed correctly the first time. You can visit the Design Center at 7450 District Boulevard. Give them a call at 397-2744, and you can always start your garage door journey at kingdoor.com. So remember, whatever your garage door needs, get it done right with King Door Company, the company with the pride of a lion.
O'Reilly. Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today. O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Kern County is hiring its next state assembly member. Let's review the applicants. Applicant 1, Anna Palacio. Top funders, Sacramento Special Interest spending big to buy her the job. Healthcare plan, $700 billion government takeover that eliminates Medicare for millions of seniors and gives control of our healthcare decisions to Sacramento politicians. Pretty radical. There's no way we can afford Anna Palacio. Applicant 2, Andre Gonzalez. Experience, elected to the Bakersfield City Council. Record, addressed housing affordability and brought jobs to Kern County. Healthcare plan, expand access and bring a medical school to Kern County. Accountable to Kern County voters. Easy choice. Vote for Andre Gonzalez for state assembly. Kern County's voice every time. Ad paid for by Keep California Golden. Ad committee's top funders: California Association of Realtors, Alliance of California's Farmers and Ranchers, and California Building Industry Association. Not authorized by a candidate or a committee controlled by a candidate.
Hey folks, Scott Cox here, host of the First Look with Scott Cox radio program. You are listening to the Ralph Bailey Show right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
Well, that one's for you, Michael. For those that have been listening, you are listening to the Ralph Bailey Show on Kern Radio. We just had boat racer Michael Torgeson on to talk about the National Jet Boat Association and their event this weekend at Lake Ming. So if you're looking for something to do, get out there, listen to some good music, and watch some fast boats. My name is Cassie Bittle, and I will be filling in for Ralph for the next couple hours as he takes a short staycation to have a little minor surgery and to have some self-care. So for those that don't know me, I am an active member of the Bakersfield community. For the last 10 years or so, I have made some major efforts to try to get to know my community in some odd ways. It started out with, street cleanups that I saw on social media, meeting down at the Fox Theater and just walking down the streets and getting to know people and kind of where our issues are, going to our board of supervisors meeting and just sitting in the back and noticing Michael Turnipseed always at every Tuesday meeting. So in order to get involved in this community, it takes action from you. No matter how small it may seem to be, just getting out there and getting active in your community will get to know everybody out there. On the outside, I am also was a bartender for many years and work for my family's restaurant called Cassie Steakhouse. We are located downtown Bakersfield, and through the years, we've been known as kind of a local hangout. So I've got to be able to get to know a lot of people in this town, and I'm really excited to be able to bring several of them on here today. If you have any questions on city news or anything that may be going on in the community, you can go ahead and give us a call here at the radio station. Our phone number is 842-5376. I would love to talk to anybody about anything going on, but just so you know, everything on this station today is my own opinion and does not reflect on the city of Bakersfield or any of the organizations that I represent. I'm proud to be a board member of the New Advances for People with Disabilities. I am also a board member for Flood Ministries, which does the outreach for the city of Bakersfield and then also the county of Kern. So we reach some of the rural areas here. We help conduct the point in time count. So I am happy to talk about any of those organizations. But as far as this radio show today, it is my own opinions and my own conversation. So I do not represent any of that. I also am blessed to be the chairwoman of the Bakersfield Planning Commission this year. So I was elected at the last meeting by my constituents to sit as chair of the Planning Commission. So it's been a long ride and a lot of fun to be able to represent Ward 3 in the Planning Commission for the city of Bakersfield for the last 6 years. It's given me an opportunity to be part of our general plan update, our housing element. There's a lot of working parts that go into a city or a county, and it's been really interesting to see how hard our city staff and our county staff work to make sure that this continues to be the wonderful place that we get to call home. So there's a lot of people working diligently to make sure that we are safe and secure and we have water flowing through our houses and our kids get a good education. So if you have any time, I advise you to get involved. Show up to a city council meeting. They're every other Wednesday at City Hall. You can sit there and just kind of hear some of the issues that come about. Same with the Planning Commission. If you ever are bored sitting there wondering what you're going to doom scroll, take a look and see what's on our different agendas and what's coming to Bakersfield. It is kind of exciting to see some of the progress that this city's made over the last, 100 years that we've been here. I don't even know, way too long. And then where we're going over the next 25 years. So we have all of those opportunities if you just get out there and get active. So I'm very thankful to be part of the organizations, and I would love to see more people get involved as well. Some of those hot topic items like the sewer rates, get people at the city council meetings, but it's the work that's done year after year that keeps this place so wonderful and sometimes can make things slip up when the public isn't present and active in a lot of the decision-making processes. So all kinds of committees, all kinds of ways that you can get involved in our city. I think we have a caller right now, Dawson.
I got Brad on the line for you.
Hi, Brad.
Hello, Cassie. My wife and I have been coming to your restaurant for probably 20 plus years for special occasions, but the biggest fan in our family is my 10-year-old grandson, Tober.
Oh, I love Tober.
Yeah, he loves that restaurant.
Oh, thank you. Now, Tober is one of the most insightful customers that I have, if you can believe it. And how old is he? 8 years old?
He's 10.
10. He's 10 years old. And that young man can have conversations about politics and life. And he is really an incredible young man.
He's a pretty smart kid.
He is.
A quick question. I saw a news report on 17 today that the Planning Commission was going to meet and possibly do a vote on the proposed LDS temple. Can you talk about that?
I can. We're going to have to go on a hard break, but I'm going to leave you on the line and I'm going to talk to you real quick and then I can give you an answer on the backside of this hard break. Sorry about that. We just they make me do it right here at the 3:30. So I'll keep you on the line. I'll be right back. You're listening to the Ralph Bailey Show. My name's Cassie Bittle. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN.
I'm Keith Peters in Washington. New York City and its suburbs are bracing for a possible strike by workers on the Long Island Railroad, the busiest commuter rail system in North America. Contract negotiations were taking place Friday aimed at reaching a deal that would avert a walkout by train workers. The Pentagon is drawing down thousands of troops in Europe by stopping units from deploying to Poland and Germany as opposed to yanking those already stationed there. Several U.S. officials confirmed that 4,000 troops from an Army brigade are no longer en route to Poland this week. The Trump administration had previously said it was cutting U.S. forces only in Germany.
6.1 and AM 1230 KERN. Headlines from the KERN newsroom.
I'm Chris Davis. The situation at Bakersfield High School was handled by law enforcement from both Bakersfield PD and Kern High School District, who got to the campus within 1 minute of getting a call Thursday morning saying there was a man with a rifle on campus. That led to a lockdown, an hour-long search, and no one like that being found. No arrests announced. A man who police say exposed himself and had some other kind of lewd conduct going on that police didn't specify back on April 26th is wanted by Bakersfield PD. They say that happened near Durham Avenue. A surveillance pic of the guy shows him wearing a black Lakers hoodie, light gray sweatpants, and two-tone black and white shoes. Police are asking for tips. I'm Chris Davis in KERN Newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. KERN.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
In 2026, Bay Alarm celebrates 80 years of security. For the Central Valley, that means local service including burglar and fire alarm systems, 24/7 in-house monitoring, and custom security designed to work with business operations. Bay Alarm has and 3 generations of family ownership. Our promise is still the same. We got you. Learn more at bayalarm.com.
First Look with Scott Cox, mornings 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Monday edition of the First Look program. Hey, with any luck, maybe the city council will decide what to do on the sewer rate increases. Or maybe the board of supervisors will figure out who's going to take care of the old open door network situation. We will have the hot list. We will have news and traffic and weather. It's all happening 6 to 9 a.m. right here at News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
Hey, it's JR Flores. Catch my show, The JR Show, starting at 1 p.m. Now back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
You are listening to AM. Stream us live at youtube.com, kernradio.com. You've got all kinds of ways to tune in. My name is Cassie Bittle, and I'll be filling in for Ralph for the next couple hours. And I am blessed to be able to have one of his longtime guests come on for my show, which is really incredible. Rick and I live in the same neighborhood, and I don't think I ever got to serve him before.
No, it's again, I'm a homebody. I mean, I do so much around town between going, watching movies, watching TV shows to talk about the next day. I just don't go out. It's usually like where's the peanut butter? I'm okay.
Well, after hearing about the life you live, you were in Los Angeles last night?
That's right. I got to see the Mandalorian and Grogu.
Oh, that's so amazing. And that was there. You were telling me the Hollywood, or no, I'm sorry, the Universal?
Universal Studio, Universal City Walk. They have a big theater complex there, and it has an IMAX screen. So that's why the press was allowed to see it on IMAX, because it was literally shot for IMAX. So they wanted us to see it in that format. I wish I could tell you what I thought of the movie. I'm embargoed until Tuesday.
Ooh.
So I can tell you I saw it. It does exist. The Mandalorian is in it. So is Grogu.
Wow. So
And
little hints.
That's about all. I can tell you this. There are, for longtime Star Wars fans, there are so many characters, so many ships, so many references. The Easter eggs are just full in it.
And that's one of the fun things about Star Wars.
Yeah, and it's not a spoiler because people know that the main villains in it are the Hutts, and we know Jabba the Hutt from Star Wars. So it's his brother and sister, and then Jabba's son. So that is not a spoiler. That's not telling you whether I like it or not. But yeah, the most of the story revolves around dealing with the Hutts.
Wow. Star Wars. What number is this one going to be?
Well, if we count them all, because there were 9 movies technically, but then there was also a Solo, which was there was a couple of standalone movies. Of course, this one is based on the TV show The Mandalorian, and what they had done is they'd done 4 seasons of that on Disney Plus, and they decided, well, instead of doing one more season, we'll do a big screen feature. And the director Jon Favreau was saying, he remembered what it was like to go to the theater when that Star Wars movie first came out, and get that excitement of seeing it all on a big screen, and that's what he wanted to do with The Mandalorian. So he gets technically the 5th season of the TV show is the big movie. So I guess if we're counting, then you've also got animated one. It's like 14th or 15th movie, and then multiple TV shows and comic books and action figures and toys and right now, if you go to Burger King, your kids' meal toy will be a Mandalorian and Grogu.
You can go everywhere and still see Star Wars.
Exactly.
Well, that's one of the fun things, though. It doesn't matter if you're a grandparent, a parent, or a young kid. It's something that's gone with every generation, and you can bond over.
It is generational. I have seen so many times where grandparents, parents, and their kids are all talking about Star Wars. And people say, well, it's kind of a nerdy thing, because they'll dress up and everything. I think, what's that different from you passing on you being an Oakland Raiders fan?
Exactly.
Or a Las Vegas Raider fan or whatever. I mean, if it's something the family can do together, I'm all for it. Whether it's sports or movies, or going to the lake just to watch these incredible speedboats. And so, yeah, family things are very important.
And one of my favorite things to do is go to Universal Studios and the Star Wars area, get to see Darth Vader in person. And there's just something so special about Star Wars that even if you haven't seen them all, it's still exciting to see each one.
Isn't it amazing how much, such iconic. I mean, you can go around the world and say, may the force be with you.
Yes.
And people know what you're talking about. I mean, that is such high praise.
I giggle every year on May the 4th. May the 4th be with you.
Yeah. Well, that's part of my email address is May the 4th. It's like I'm such a big nerd, but come on, I'm old enough to remember. I remember seeing the first Star Wars, and I'm not talking about the Phantom Menace, which we try to forget, but I remember when the first Star Wars, which is now called The New Hope, came out, and I saw it in the theater. And I don't know if you remember the movie. There's an opening scene where this giant ship comes across the top.
Oh yeah.
And I literally turned and looked back at this, like, where is this coming from? And so, from that day forward, I was hooked. I've collected the toys, all sorts of things, and had been lucky enough. I actually got to go to Skywalker Ranch in San Francisco, outside of San Francisco, to interview George Lucas.
Wow.
And so that was a highlight. It's one of those funny stories. That same weekend, I was invited down. I could go down to the Playboy Mansion for the Playmate of the Year announcement, or go to Skywalker Ranch and interview George Lucas. I took the George Lucas, okay? And my son's godfather, my best friend, will tell that story. And he goes, that idiot picked Skywalker Ranch? And everybody goes, I'd have picked Skywalker Ranch too. Exactly. So, yeah, it was memorable for me, just in so many ways.
I love that. Now, to be able to do incredible things like that, you have to have an incredible career to go behind it. And what I was kind of researching online, you've been in critics for over 49 years.
This is come August to be my 50th year as a journalist. 40 of them in newspapers, and then newspapers died.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when the company I was working for laid off all their entertainment writers.
Mm-hmm.
And I was at that age where it's like, well, no newspaper's going to hire me. First off, they're not hiring because they're dying out. And secondly, they're going to hire people paying much less, kids right out of school who need, and God bless them if they get that chance to get that work. So my wife and I moved back. I was working at the Fresno Bee. We moved back here. I went to the TV station, went to KGT because the news director there was my news director when I was working at the Bakersfield Californian,
mm-hmm.
and said, "Look, I'm not a TV guy. I don't have that look, but I have the knowledge."
You do.
Well,
You're so much fun to watch in the morning.
Thank you. I love what I do, and I spent my entire career thinking every morning I wake up and think this is the day they're going to say we're paying him to watch TV and go to the movies. What were we thinking? We would have done it for free. So I've been blessed, and I've gotten to interview some of the great people. I mean, it's easier for me to tell you people I have not interviewed. So yeah, it's been wonderful.
That is so cool. And that's when, Ralph asked me, would you like to still have Rick Bentley come on? And my eyes lit up. I thought, this is such an opportunity for me. I get to see you in the morning. So
and it's nice to finally meet you. I hear him talking to you all the time. You're so articulate. You're so well at doing this. So yeah, I'm delighted.
And then JR's floating around the station today, and he offered to buy Rick and his wife dinner. I heard it, so you make sure you hold JR.
I will.
He's got all of his trade with me, so
Okay, well, yeah, I'll come find you.
Do you have any suggestions for our listeners this weekend if they're maybe not wanting to be outside at the boat drags of what they should see at the theaters?
Well, today on KGT, I reviewed The Sheep Detectives.
Okay.
That opened technically last week. Normally, I only review a movie that's opening today. But I had to be in LA last night. I couldn't see anything. So I last weekend there were 3 big movies. There was the Mortal Kombat 2, the Sheep Detectives, and the Billie Eilish movie. And so I only could do one. So I decided I'm going to pick up the Sheep Detectives, and I loved it. I'm telling you, families, if you're looking for a film to go sit in a nice, cool theater and enjoy, you're going to love this. Now it's sort of Babe meets Agatha Christie. Now it's not pigs, it's sheep, but. Hugh Jackman plays. He loves his flock so much that every night he reads detective stories to them, and then he gets murdered. That's not a spoiler. That's in all the trailers. Everybody knows that he gets murdered. And so the sheep decide they have to solve the crime, and they've heard so many detective stories. They know how to solve the crime, and so they go about trying to solve the crime. It's all computer generated. Obviously, they couldn't teach sheep to talk, but there'll be a point where you just forget that this is all computer generated because the sheep have so much personality. They're all so different. Julie Louise-Dreyfus is the voice of Lily, who's the smartest sheep in the flock, at least probably in the world. She leads the investigation based on everything she'd heard. Patrick Stewart does one of the voices. It's just got great voice work. The mystery part of it, the who done it, it's kind of flimsy. I mean, I've seen so many. I picked out the killer in about the first 10 seconds, but that's just me. But that's not really what it's not as much about solving the mystery, and that's fun, but it's about talking about life and taking care of each other and being part of a herd, quote unquote. And so the only thing I'm warning people about, if you go with a family and you take some little ones, there's not a lot of violence. The murder happens off screen, so you don't see that. There are a couple of rams who like to bump heads, but there is a lot of talk about what's life and what's death, what happens because sheep apparently have this ability that if something they don't like, they can immediately forget it. And so most of them don't remember seeing a death. And now they're faced with a real human death. And so there's a discussion of that. So I think if you take little ones, you better be prepared to have that discussion. What is life and death? So that's the only warning I'm going to give you. Otherwise, I think the family. I will also warn you this: take plenty of tissue. I cried my eyes out.
Just like Babe.
Oh, even more. There are tender, wonderful, sweet scenes, both funny cry and sad cry. I just thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I gave it a B+.
I love it.
I knocked it down a half a grade because it made me cry so much.
I tried to do a little research before the show, and that was the one movie that I looked at that looked like it was worth seeing.
It is. It is. Now, if you like pure action,
Mhm.
Mortal Kombat 2 is that. It
Mhm.
is nothing but we're going to fight, we're going to kill, we're going to have blood squirt everywhere.
Yeah,
If
no.
that's what you want, that's fi- well, that's what I love about movies
Mhm.
is that we can have Mortal Kombat, which is just for pure action. We can have The Sheep Detective, which is for a family-friendly kind of mystery. And then we have The Devil Wears Prada 2,
Oh.
which is for that character development. It's this wonderful story about fashion, and it's very glitzy, it's glamorous. It's not as great as the first one because I love the first one, but sequels tend to be a little tamer, a little less exciting. So I knocked it down a little bit. But you've got that. And then again, on the 22nd, we've got Mandalorian and Grogu. We've got Supergirl coming. We've got another Spider-Man movie. We got Toy Story 5 coming. So there's always something different and new that you can check into.
Oh, I love that. That's so much fun. And the movies are a great place just to sit and relax after having a long week. You can just enjoy somebody else's story.
And there are theaters here in town that have the reclining seats
Mhm.
that I refuse to use because I'm afraid I'm going to go to sleep. And
Uh-huh.
I'm actually there working. So I don't want to be there snoring and somebody's going, well, that guy's going to review the movie tomorrow. He didn't see any of it. So, but again, you're right. From I love that idea that it's just me. It's quiet. You can sit there and just have a good time. Or if you don't like it, you can walk out. I mean, I've never walked out of a movie.
I don't think I have either.
Because my mantra has been, if I'm going to review it, I have to see the whole thing. And there's some I've wanted to walk out of,
Mhm.
but it's like, no, I'm going to be here. And I think if I ever had to, I would at least say, I was going to review this, but I didn't stay past the first 10 minutes. So
Oh, that's an honest review in itself, too.
well, and the great thing is, I mean, I only have so much time on the air,
Mhm.
whether it be TV or here or wherever or online. I even write for online. And so it's like there's a new movie opening today, only at the Reading Theater, called the Wizard of the Kremlin, and it's based on the guy who was the manipulator behind Putin. And so it's an intriguing story of politics and Russian politics and the rise of Putin into power. But you really have to be a political nerd because it's also very stoic. It's Russian, okay? And they're telling the story of this rise, and there's a lot of political parallels you can look at and all that sort of stuff. But the presentation is so refined and so held back that you really have to be concerned more about the history of it.
Mhm.
And part of that's kind of flimsy for me because the main character, who's played by Paul Dano, who I did an interview with that aired this morning on KGT, his character is not based on one person, but a sort of conglomeration of two or three. And I don't like that because if you're going to do a story, stick to the one person. If they're not that interesting, then don't do the movie.
Exactly. Yeah.
But that's the kind of film that's out there. If you're a political nerd, you just live and breathe any politics you can get, that's out there for you. So, but it's only showing at the Reading, so make sure you go over there.
I didn't know they did that, but I did see they were showing The Great Awakening, which was a little bit smaller of a
And I
movie as
wish
well.
that was last week.
Uh-huh.
I wish I'd seen that. That's the problem. People always ask me, "Hey, did you see?" And I go, "I wish I had, but there's only so many hours in a day, and
Mhm.
it takes at least 2 to watch something."
How do you find out about these smaller movies that
Well, I get constant emails from studios saying, like Angel Studios, which
Mhm.
does a lot of faith-based work. Well,
Yes.
send me hey, we've got like the Animal Farm. They did the new Animal Farm.
Uh-huh.
Do you want to do an interview? We'll send you a clip. We'll send you an online link. You can watch it. And so, the big movies. I'm going to know about the new Spider-Man movie. I'm going to know about. Gosh, we've heard about Mandalorian and Grogu for over a year now.
Mhm.
And so but I try to keep my eye out. I try to find little films sometimes that I think, you probably wouldn't go and I could suggest it. But I always keep in mind, if I'm going to suggest to you a film, am I willing to look you in the eye tomorrow after you've seen it and you've taken a family of 4 and you've spent $75 or more? Can I look you in the eye and say, yes, it was worth the money? And so I'm very cautious about that. I keep that in mind.
I love that. So if you're looking for some good suggestions on what to see with your family through the summer or any given weekend, you can tune in to Rick Bentley. He's on KGET 17. You can see him on the morning news. You can check online, but he's got all kinds of great interviews and reviews of the new movies coming out and the ones that are special to our theaters as well. Rick, thank you so much for your time.
It's great to get to finally talk to you.
I know. I'll see you walking around the neighborhood.
We should do this more. You're much better than Ralph.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you are.
Don't tell him that, though. He gets
Oh,
jealous.
I'll tell him. He knows I'll tell him.
He's listening. Well, thank you so much, Rick, for your time. You're listening to The Ralph Bailey Show. We're going to take a quick break. My name's Cassie Bittle. We'll be back in just a little bit.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN. Clay Travis and Buck Sexton, live at 9 a.m. Now back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN. Kern Radio, AM 1230, KERN. 96.1 FM, K241CI Bakersfield, an American General Media station. From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update.
A man hit by a truck in Northwest Bakersfield. I'm Chris Davis, and that man is dead, say police. That happened last night just before 8:30 at Snow Road, just west of Quail Creek Road, says the California Highway Patrol. It is not clear why, but the man walked out in front of a Chevy pickup that was headed west on Snow Road and was hit. He died there at the scene. CHP says the man was not walking in the crosswalk. They do not believe drugs or alcohol played any part, and the man's name has not been made public. Another fire burning in Kern County has caused plenty of damage to land at the Kern to Larry County line. That is being called the Rowley Fire because it's near Rowley Road on West Garces Highway. It was first reported about 4:30 Thursday afternoon and so far has burned around 2,500 acres. There had been an evacuation order for people in the area, but that has been lifted, and firefighters are still having a tough time containing the fire. You may remember the fatal crash that happened last month where 3 people died at the intersection of Harris Road and Summer Springs Drive, and other wrecks that have also happened at that intersection. Now a new radar has been put up there to tell you how fast you're going. You might remember that speed was the main factor in last month's wreck. The trial of 75-year-old Alan Booth may actually begin Monday after delays that have lasted for about 9 months. Booth is the man charged with driving at more than 3 times the legal limit and hitting several people with his pickup at the 2023 Bakersfield Christmas Parade. The new trial date of May 18th was set Thursday. The latest delays were because of health concerns. Booth is charged with assault with a deadly weapon, resisting arrest, and DUI. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN Newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN.
Welcome back to the Ralph Bailey Show. You are listening to Kern Radio 96.1 FM, 12:30
There we
a.m.
go.
I finally, it's not going to take me a little bit of time to get that 1180 out of my head. So it is 12:30 a.m. if you're still listening to an AM radio station, or you can do the new age way of streaming us live on youtube.com. My name is Cassie Bittle, and I'm filling in for Ralph while he takes a little short staycation at home. Don't worry, he will be back next week. So for those that don't know who I am or why I'm sitting in this seat, I am a good friend of Ralph Bailey, or I like to think so, and he likes to call me a good egg, so I'd like to think so too. And I have the privilege of getting to know many different community members and people with that throughout Bakersfield through my family's restaurant, Cassie's Steakhouse. We're located at 2515 F Street, and we have been in Kern County since 1939. So we have a long tradition of serving our community, and I like to do that in my personal life as well. So I am a proud board member for Flood Ministries, which is the homeless outreach for the city of Bakersfield and the rural areas of Kern. I also am a board member for the New Advances for People with Disabilities, which are two wonderful organizations that I am very, very proud to be part of. I also sit on the Bakersfield Planning Commission as the Ward 3 representative, and this year I get to represent the city as the chairwoman of the Planning Commission. But all of the opinions and all of the things on today's show are my personal opinions and do not reflect on any of the organizations that I represent on a different level. So I am very happy to be able to answer any questions that anybody may have in regards to city business or any opinions that I may have. And right before we went on break, one of my good customers, he's only 10 years old, but his name is Tober, his grandfather called in asking some questions that pertained to the Planning Commission. So how that does work is when there's ever going to be new development within the city of Bakersfield, we send out, or the developers or the city sends out notifications for anything that may be going in that area. I believe it's up to 300 feet, but you have the opportunity to see everything that's being developed in the city of Bakersfield that needs to be approved on the city website. So I encourage anybody to pay attention to those agendas as they come out. You can pay attention to different signs that go out to see what's going on. And this city is always changing. So we are definitely a growing place. We have a growing population, and we're trying to bring those amenities and those things that we need to our communities that don't have them. So if you have time, please pay attention to what your city's doing. Pay attention to those city council agendas. There's all kinds of different committees when it comes to Measure N. You can watch those committee meetings to see where your tax dollars are going as well. When it comes to city business, everything is out in the open. So you will be able to see anything if you look online. And technology and AI has made it very easy for people to do that, as we can see in local headlines. It's been kind of a mess in the city of Bakersfield and sensationalizing, a lot of big things, and it's something that comes with politics and with city business. And I think it's important, but I think it's also important that we stay engaged and involved when things aren't so exciting. So if you've got time, pay attention to the city council meetings, show up to a board of supervisors meeting. You can watch everything on YouTube. The city even has a podcast too, where you can hear from different staff members and what's going on in the city. So I definitely recommend to everybody listening, please, please, please get involved and get out your vote. Pay attention to those different propositions and different things that are going to be coming up on the ballot this November. Make sure you get your ballot in for the primary elections. That is coming up June 2nd. Our next guest has actually been involved in politics for quite some time, and she's really gotten to know this state and our needs, and I'm really proud to bring her on to talk about what's going to be on our ballot. So if you are confused on anything, or if you have any questions, please feel free to call in today. Our phone number here at the radio station is 842-5376. If you have any questions when it comes to, voting, what's on the ballot, what the importance of it is, today's the day to be able to give us a call, and we'd love to be able to have some interaction from our listeners. So I am very excited to bring Kathy Abernathy on and talk about her her voting guide. I was going to get that out eventually. We've got to go on a quick break, and we're going to be bringing her on to talk about what's going to be on your ballot to make sure you get it in the mail. So you're listening to the Ralph Bailey Show. We will be back on in just a few minutes.
From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update.
A man hit by a truck in Northwest Bakersfield. I'm Chris Davis, and that man is dead, say police. That happened last night just before 8:30 at Snow Road, just west of Quail Creek Road, says the California Highway Patrol. It is not clear why, but the man walked out in front of a Chevy pickup that was headed west on Snow Road and was hit. He died there at the scene. CHP says the man was not walking in the crosswalk. They do not believe drugs or alcohol played any part, and the man's name has not been made public. Another fire burning in Kern County has caused plenty of damage to land at the Kern to Larry County line. That is being called the Rowley Fire because it's near Rowley Road on West Garces Highway. It was first reported about 4:30 Thursday afternoon and so far has burned around 2,500 acres. There had been an evacuation order for people in the area, but that has been lifted, and firefighters are still having a tough time containing the fire. You may remember the fatal crash that happened last month where 3 people died at the intersection of Harris Road and Summer Springs Drive, and other wrecks that have also happened at that intersection. Now a new radar has been put up there to tell you how fast you're going. You might remember that speed was the main factor in last month's wreck. The trial of 75-year-old Alan Booth may actually begin Monday after delays that have lasted for about 9 months. Booth is the man charged with driving at more than 3 times the legal limit and hitting several people with his pickup at the 2023 Bakersfield Christmas Parade. The new trial date of May 18th was set Thursday. The latest delays were because of health concerns. Booth is charged with assault with a deadly weapon, resisting arrest, and DUI. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
To the rest, well, in a month from now, this Hollywood big shot's going to give you what you want. Too late. They start shooting in a week. I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
The Ralph Bailey Show. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
And I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Welcome back to the Ralph Bailey Show. You are listening to Kern Radio 96. My name is Cassie, Bittle, and I am filling in for Ralph for the next 2 hours while he enjoys a short vacation at home from minor procedures he was having done. For those that don't know who I am, my name is Cassie Bittle, and my family owns and operates a small restaurant in downtown Bakersfield called Cassie's Steakhouse. We have been in Bakersfield since 1939. Through that restaurant, I have had the opportunity to get to know lots of people in this wonderful place that we call home and be involved in many different organizations and slowly moved my way into politics, getting to know people like Kathy Abernathy and Les Clark, and we've got all kinds of good ones that have came through the years. And it's really exciting to know that Bakersfield cares about where California is going. And we've seen huge responses in this local election that's coming up on June 2nd. We've got our primaries coming up, and then we have another election coming up in November. I cannot stress how important it is to get your ballot in the mail or dropped off to somewhere safe for our community's success. I mean, the ballot and voting is the most critical part of being an active member of our community. We can show up to street cleanups, we can show up for the nonprofits, but if we're not showing up for the vote, then we're not paying proper attention to how our tax dollars are spent and who's representing us as a community at higher levels. So I'm very proud to bring on political consultant and lobbyist strategist for over 40 years, Kathy Abernathy.
Wait a minute.
Is it 40?
Probably
30?
is.
20?
It probably is. I just don't like hearing the number.
Trust me, I feel the same way with every new employee that I get. I feel like the girls get younger and I stay the same age, so the lights just get lower in the
That's
restaurant
right.
every year. Kathy,
Thank
you
you.
have been an anchor in this community and making sure that we stay relevant in this large state of California and making sure that our people get their voice out there. What suggestions do you have for our voters, and is there anything we really need to be paying attention to?
Well, as you know, we have in 2 weeks, we have a primary, probably even more important in 4 or 5 months, we have the general. Now, the ballot is incredibly long because 62 people are running for governor, of which about 5 right now are really in contention. I don't know why the others did it if they think it helps their name ID, but I don't know that it does. But it sure costs the taxpayers to print 4 sides, 4 pages, this ballot is. And now you don't have on this ballot a lot of statewide initiatives. You'll see a bunch in November. And the legislature, in their wisdom with the governor, virtually a partisan vote, decided that, well, let's put all the statewide initiatives on the November ballot because more Democrats vote in November than in the primary. So that's why your ballot doesn't have any statewide initiatives. It does have 1 county, and we can talk about that. And then the governor's race has kind of gotten exciting right now. But I do wish, and which is why I do a lot of the educating I try to do on the issues, is that people have got to look at the candidates running. It really does affect the result. If they're a person who thinks you shouldn't be driving a car, you should be on a bus or walking or whatever, they don't want to put money into restoring your roads. Last week, me going 3 miles to church in a good part of town, my daughter 2 days earlier driving just to work, we each got nails in our tire. In 2 days, the same household. How is that? Except that, that kind of constant taking care of things. So you want to look for candidates and office holders that spend their time doing the basics.
Exactly. We can get overwhelmed with all of the TV ads and all of the rhetoric that's pushed out by different campaigns, but we have the ability to look into who each of these candidates are and what they bring to the table more than just what's sensationalized on a lot of the TV commercials. So as far as local elections, what are some of the most important ones that we should be looking at?
Well, maybe we'll start bottom up. Measure A, which is the only non-candidate ballot issue you have, Measure A, has to do with making Kern a charter county. Right now, we are a general law. 1865, 150 years ago, we were made a general law county, along with virtually every other county here in the state. But other counties, about 13 of them, have switched to being charter, asking the voters, let's give us a little more power over state government. And Fresno is a charter. We're still a general law. And so this is a very narrow proposal. No matter what you've been reading, it really only impacts one thing. They could amend it, which means the voters, the voters would vote, and change it to be on a different subject. This subject that you have is to say that if there's a vacancy on the Board of Supervisors, of which we have 5 supervisors split up in the county, if there's a vacancy, that it is filled not by the governor in Sacramento, whoever the governor may be, but by the Board of Supervisors with either an appointment or an election. People that you can be responsible for, you can vote them out if you don't like what they did, but you can't do anything if a governor appoints someone. And so that's all it does. And it will be timely because Supervisor David Couch, and he's very popular, he's running now for assembly, he's unopposed, but he has 2 more years on his 4-year term. So come November, when there's a victory party for him, the rest of us say, wait a minute, what about who's going to fill your spot? And it would either be Newsom on the way out the door, or it could be the local Board of Supervisors. So, I'm urging a yes vote. You look it over as a voter and see what you think. Do you want the governor, whoever he might be in Sacramento, to select a local county supervisor? Or should the local board look at that and maybe in time look at some other things that we could take more control over?
I was really shocked to find that out at a local level where we know what our needs are, to know that our governor could appoint somebody that's making the major decisions for us here. So that was something I was really shocked to see. So I agree. It's a yes vote on Measure A.
It is. I think it's, I don't know any other reason not to do it. And for the audience to understand, there's 5 members of the Board of Supervisors, and it takes 4 votes to pass a budget. So you've got to get a pretty strong support there. If you have a split right now, it's 4-1, but if you have a split 3-2, there's going to be a lot of battles, a lot of going on all year. Right now, I think people are satisfied with how the county's spending money and doing their job. And there's issues with the city, I think, are a little bit stronger right now than the county. So it's important, but it's on the very, 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 very bottom of your ballot, 4-page ballot. All these years I've been working on elections, a big chunk of the voters, 15%, maybe 20%, stop voting halfway through, and they've never had 62 people running for governor. So they may quit even earlier on their ballot. I hope they don't. I hope at least someone was saying start bottom up, because that's the only vote that a Kern County voter can make their, solution, the answer to. Statewide, we can throw our votes in there, but ultimately we don't have the impact that the other 6 million voters will have. So that is measure A, last thing on your ballot. Don't give up till you get there. Give it a yes vote if you agree with what we're saying.
I think that's like the best advice I've heard in a while, is to start from the bottom up, because that is so true. Trying to get through those 62 candidates and figuring out that may be the most prominent thing on our ballot, but the most important things are going to be on the back and on those last pages. So I would take Kathy's advice on that and start with the back of the ballot and work your way up. If you are listening to the show, Kathy, you do have a voter guide that you email out every year. How do people get in contact with you for that?
Well, I send it by email, and my email address is Kathy with a C. So it's C Abernathy, CABERNATHY @libertystar.net. LibertyStar.net, one word, LibertyStar.net. And I just emailed you. I don't use the list for anything else. I don't fundraise with it. I don't send out other mailings, just the primary and the general. I send out an email. For some folks who don't, I have a lot of senior citizens, I guess you could call them, that say, I have just a flip phone, I don't have email, whatever, and I mail it to them with a stamp. But an interesting change, I just updated the ballot recs, because this governor's race has now, over the last 2 weeks with the congressman who had to skip out the door, which I'd really like to know the story there, because filing closed for governor March 10th or so. And they knew all this about Swalwell. And did they think he was going to overcome it? I don't know. But why they waited till, the ballots are printed for him to drop out really mixed up the race now for the Democrats especially. So Emerson College, they do a pretty respectable poll. And I got the results from day before yesterday. And it's showing this Xavier Becerra, who he's one of those folks that's been moved up without having to run so much. He was appointed U.S. Senator because who at the time had moved up. I don't know if it was Kamala or somebody else. And then Biden appointed him head of Health and Human Services. Why he was credible for that, I don't know. He's never run anything. And that's a huge, huge bureaucracy. But that's Xavier Becerra. He's in first place right now. But not by much. He's at 19% of the vote. And then right next to him, right below him at 17%, is Steve Hilton. And there's been 2 other surveys come out this last week that show the very same. So you can trust that this is the way it is right now. And then right below Steve Hilton is this Tom Steyer, who's so wealthy he prints his own money. That's the only way I describe him. You'll see a lot of his ads. I think somebody wised up. I don't know if your audience has watched his ads over the last few weeks, but most of it was him talking. I don't think he's very appealing when he speaks or looks or something about him. So now I notice they have other people now speaking and saying they're for him and they're for Tom Steyer.
Well,
I think that's smart.
He ran for president as well.
He's run before. Again, when you have that much money, you can buy all kinds of media, like right here, which is fine and dandy. But besides that, there's not a lot more to him in terms of, and it's pie in the sky things. He's just pandering right now to voters. But and then right below Tom Steyer is Chad Bianco. So the point is now, which is why I put out an update to my ballot recs for those of you looking for a Republican to be in November. And I would say, even if you're a Democrat, it's better to have the 2 political philosophies against each other, like we've had in the state for 150 years. It was always a Democrat and Republican come out of their primaries. But the system that changed about 10 years ago, I didn't vote for it, but the system that changed about 10 years ago is now we have a so-called open primary in the top 2 voters. And so the Democrat Party is trying to pull 2 Democrats across the finish line. We need to get 1 Republican across the finish line. People about 3 months ago thought, oh, we can get 2 because they like them both. I like them both too. But we're not going to get 2 Republicans into the general, and not with these kind of results right now. So I have been neutral in it, waiting to see what kind of a race is the Republican can run to see if he can be a serious contender in November. There's no point in just putting in someone you like or they look good or you like something they did in their past if they aren't viable in the fall. And right now I'm taking a position and going to go with Steve Hilton. And I hope we can get everyone together because Bianco was down at 11%. And that's pretty hard to overcome unless he prints his own money, which he doesn't. He's a sheriff, but he doesn't have the kind of wealth that Steyer does. So it'll be interesting. It looks like Katie Porter, who I actually thought Ralph always thought I was crazy, and I guess I was. I thought as tough and hard-nosed as she was coming off, I thought she might catch the voters' interest, but it doesn't look like it. She's down there right now at 10%, and she's been campaigning a long time. So that's to me, that's the situation. We're now down to who's going to run against Xavier Becerra, who is very weak on the debate stage, and so he probably won't want to debate much. I hope if it is Steve Hilton that he will challenge him to lots of debates. I've always wondered who's the staff person that came up with the idea of having Biden debate in June, when normally we never have a presidential debate till September. But if they hadn't done that in June, if Trump had said, I don't want to debate in June, but he loves debate, but Biden might have slipped right through and been the nominee at the Democratic convention, but he exposed himself in June. So I feel like, was that a traitor in his office that knew darn well he was going to do poorly? It seems like something was up on that, but
that's how I felt when we were doing the debate watch party in June. I thought this is way too early for a presidential election. Never seen that before, but
wow, what a night that
really
was!
Changed the race. Yes,
and well, sadly, that's where we, America, saw whether Joe Biden was Democrat or Republican. We saw a person who should not be in national office, particularly the top leader of the free world, and that was hidden from us pretty much. Prior to that. So, and that's why this whole early voting, I'm a real opponent of that because you don't know what can come out. And in right now in Pennsylvania and about 12 other states, they start voting in November for the presidential September 10. September 10th. That is before any debates. That is almost 2 months before the election. And you don't know what can come up. And then the other reason I don't like it is because, well, who voted for that? Incumbents. Who has a tougher time to win? A challenger. Challenger needs time. They need time after a primary to raise campaign funds so that they have enough to take on the incumbent. Well, if people start voting September 10 and you won your primary here in June, some states their primaries are August. How does the challenger? He doesn't. And that's why incumbents did that. They're pulling the primary up, get you voting before you hear about the bad stuff they did. So these kind of changes to our laws, election laws, are not healthy, designed to protect incumbents, really. And I hope we can get some people in all these states to say, no, let's all vote on one day. If you're ill, can't make it out of the country, you can apply, but we're not throwing live ballots into every address they can find in America.
I'm the same way. I don't drop my ballot off until election day. My mother's the same way as well. Why would you want to show your cards before we get too close? So I encourage everybody, try to get if you can't get it in later, then it's obviously better to get it in sooner, but I couldn't agree with Kathy more. It needs to be closer to the deadline. Too much early voting leads too much to guessing, and I think that it would be just so much better if we could get it into a shorter amount of time. And
another practical problem, it's for the candidates, but also for those who want to support someone. It costs a lot more money for a candidate to think, well, people are going to be voting for 6-7 weeks. So he or she has to be strong and known every week. You can't just build your campaign up knowing, well, they're mostly 95% are going to vote November 3rd or 4th. No, you don't know. Every week people are voting. So your campaign has to keep putting out mail, putting out ads. It all costs money. So it has tripled the cost of a campaign. Again, harder on the challenger than the incumbent. Incumbents have more funding. So that's another reason why we need to get our date back to everybody vote the same day. And, you know, when you vote electronically, I know there's people that think about, you know, the machines, everyone's crooked. We've seen the results. We see the people downtown. The results in Kern County seem to reflect what we are here, our votes. It's important to get at a simpler system, because you can imagine, you folks look at your 2-page ballots all folded up at stiff paper. They can't even open them up until right at the election day night. Then they got to flatten them enough to get them to go into the machine and not jam it, and it jams it all night long. So that's why it's taking longer and longer to count them. And we need to make it easier, which is what it was before. And, you know, we've elected Reagan, we've elected Barack Obama president, we've elected all different kinds of folks. It shouldn't be an issue. We should be able to do it the standard old way.
I agree. I don't think there's as much voter fraud as we like to believe that there is. The problem comes down to us actually turning our ballots in and taking that time. A lot of people believe that their vote doesn't count. I don't know how many times I've heard that. I understand our population is large. I understand that the weight is against us, but the more that we say we can't, the less we'll be able to do. So please, even if you feel like all hope is lost in California, get your vote out. You'd be surprised. Times are changing. People are understanding the errors that have been made in the state over the last 15 years, whether it be loosening the criminal justice laws where we have 86,000 prisoners who are now roaming the streets without proper care, to how we maintain and have our election process. Having the 2 top people on the governor ballot, that just doesn't make any sense to me. It needs to be one from each party representing the separate views and the people that live within the state, because we are very diverse. So I could just urge everybody over and over again, stay involved in the political process. Don't get worn out by all of these commercials and the mailers that you get. I know it seems frustrating, but it's part of the process, and we have to continue to be part of that process.
And if you are going to vote, though, you should educate yourself. You know a lot about sports figures and how many wins, losses, and how many home runs and this and that. You could spend the time to learn this, or if there's someone you trust, their opinion, you could talk with them. Because just voting by the sound of their name sounds good. No. That's not a good way.
It's not the best way. And really look at, you know, they're not on this ballot, but come November, we'll start to see the propositions come out. And that's where we have to pay attention to the verbiage on those and how they present those to the public. You think you're voting one way and you'll be voting a completely different way.
Now, if I can remind you, when we had a chance to vote to repeal the gas tax, this was 5 years ago. And the language was, you know, you want to keep this law, and so the vote was no. You would vote no to repeal it. Well, oh no, do you want to repeal it? Yes, I want to repeal it. The Attorney General at the time, a Democrat, he wrote a yes vote to repeal the gas tax. A yes vote will reduce the amount of money to repair roads. Who's going to vote for that?
Nobody.
Who's going to vote for that? And I told the proponents at the time, I said on the, you know, repeal the gas tax, you better go to court, you better sue. This is so unfair. You know, I know when I write an initiative, whatever it is, the Attorney General is going to write, this will cause cancer. I mean, it's just, they can do that. But you have to go to court and sue and say that does not reflect it. But they decided to not do it, and it failed.
I think we saw that with Kamala Harris did that with the Keep California Schools Safe initiative.
Safe, yeah.
It had nothing to do with California schools. It had everything to do with reducing the overcrowding in our prison system. So when you confuse the voters like that, that's where we have an unjust voting system.
Exactly.
It needs to be clear. So it's important for the voters and the people that care about our community to pay attention to the mailers. You can look online now. I mean, it's very easy to do simple Google searches. You always remember who's behind those Google searches, but pay attention to what's on our ballot. We have assembly bills, Senate bills, and then propositions that come out and change our way of life on a yearly basis, and we don't even know what they're doing. So please, if the best thing that we can do for our community is make sure we stay active in our voting process. It's a privilege and our right to do so.
Exactly. Politicians take it serious. We need to take it just as serious. There's we've got 2 weeks from yesterday, from Tuesday, excuse me, it's Friday. And let me also, I get a lot of calls about
You know,
this. If
blow
you
right
make a
to the
mistake on your ballot, if you've already voted for someone and you want to switch, you can do it. You don't have to get a new ballot. You just make it clear, you cross out that person, you mark who you want, and just right next to it, I want this person, and put your initials. The reason I say this, I've watched how they handle. If there's any handwriting on a ballot, it gets pulled out, goes on a TV screen, two people look at it and say, what is the voter's intent? If they can see your intent, then they will vote. They will mark you that way. You don't have to worry about it if you voted and you want to switch. Just make it clear. Cross out the one you don't want, mark who you want, and say, I want this person. And that's voter intent is very clear. So don't get too worried, because some people will call and say, hey, I made a mistake. You want to, it's a lot easier on the county too if they haven't sent you another ballot, because then they won't count your ballot till 3 weeks later to make sure you're not voting twice. So that's why we have this delayed result. So I'm trying to solve that by telling people. I've watched them. I watched them when I was counting the write-ins for Ken Weir. How did they decide? I'll tell you what's interesting. Some people wrote in Donald Trump for every office on the ballot. Every office. So I don't know. They thought they were sending a message, I guess. But I thought, God, do people really do this? But they do. But I do know about that. You don't have to worry if you make a mistake.
That's good to know. So if you have any questions on your ballot, just make sure you write it on there. There are people behind these elections that are taking a look at each one of these ballots. So there's a lot of integrity when it comes to the Kern County Elections Office. And if you'd like to volunteer and be part of the process, I know that they're always looking for helping hands to make sure that we have enough polling places to give equal opportunity to everybody in our community. So get out, get your vote out, and get involved if you have the time and the energy to do so. We really appreciate it as a community. Kathy, thank you so much for your time today and your insight. For those that don't know, Kathy does have not necessarily it's her recommendations, but she gives you insight on each of the candidates. And so it's definitely worth listening to those opinions that have been in the game for a long time. So
I throw some humor in it too.
Yeah, exactly.
I try to lighten it up.
Well, perfect. I think we have to take a short, do we have to take a break, or do I get to skip it? Yeah, I got to take a short little break. I'm a little late now. Thank you, Dawson. You're listening to The Ralph Bailey Show. My name's Cassie Bittle. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Yeah, I'm not good at that.
Do I go then?
Yeah, I think so. And then I have to Stratton next.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I like them.
I'll leave you this.
And then this is,
This is on Saul.
Okay, so how do you say his last name?
I wrote I own.
Got it. Thank you. That's how I do it.
And I've marked some of his background. And he's really interesting guy because he's so hands-on. He's done. He makes he's a mayor that's like doing in a little town like that. His income is so low there, and he gets goes to Sacramento, and so I think
he's still working
I just
hard.
assume he got couch supervisor appointment because he's much more a good local government guy. Because in Sacramento, I've given up.
I think we all have.
That's why I say I'm my governor.
Oh, hi, Chief. Good. How are you? Are we calling you on your cell phone? Or are you here? Nope. I gave JR your phone number. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, we need help.
Pretty stupid. There we go. Okay.
All right. Thank
All right,
you.
good.
I'll bug you later. Yeah, I gave you Chief's number, right? I gave you Chief's number, didn't I?
Yeah, I have it right here, right?
Okay,
Which one am I calling them? Just three here? Or- Oh, that's.
Oh, sorry, that's Mike. Yeah, 303. Did I write something?
Three.
No.
These your glasses, Dawson? We're gonna go to news here. So we'll have about 3 more minutes.
Oh, okay, so we don't have to do the hard break at the 30?
Yeah, it's gonna.
So do I need to say anything in between?
Nope. Nope, I'm gonna go straight to it.
Straight to it.
Cool.
Hi, Scotty. We're having Saul Ione. He wanted Sir Rocky Martin at 5:30. He's running against Andre Gonzalez for the Assembly seat.
All right. I've met Saul.
Have you?
Yeah. Huh?
What do you think of him?
I mean, he's a good guy, but does he have a chance?
Probably not.
So, yeah, that's probably good because Matthew's bad. Because I told him that I was mad at Jeff for telling people to be shame on you for questioning things after he had to walk his ass out from the back for accusing himself.
I put a poem in my desk in there that I was going to read for all my friends that sure seem like pick a lot and not have a whole lot of grace these days. Just saying, the witch hunts were done by Christians too, sir.
I understand.
It's not
But the Lord also says we call that out. That's what the Lord say we call that out for what it is. That's what the Lord say. That's what the Lord say. I can love you enough to ask you to change your ways.
Someone have a party out here.
Randy. Take this chair. Can't sit in this chair.
That man died at the scene. His name has not been released yet. A fire burning at the Kern-Tulare County line on West Georgia Highway near Rowley Road has burned about 2,500 acres so far, say firefighters who were having a tough time getting it under control. It started about 4:30 Thursday afternoon, and an evacuation order is no longer in place. The DUI trial for 75-year-old Alan Booth in the 2023 Bakersfield Christmas Parade incident is now expected to start Monday after many delays. The latest this week. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
It's that man again, Ralph Bailey for Sangera Subaru, and summer has arrived, and it's time to plan the summer road trip. And what better car to do it in than a brand new Subaru? And if you want something sporty and comfortable, then the choice is clear: the Outback. And now, through June 1st, lease a 2026 Outback Premium CVT for only $229 a month for 36 months and just $5,000 due at signing. Plus, every Subaru comes standard with symmetrical all-wheel drive. However, offer ends June 1st. So stop by, see my dear friends Damon Culbertson and Hassan Levy, and test drive a brand new Outback today. Sangera Subaru, paving the way for a better community. 5500 Gasoline Alley Drive in the Bakersfield Auto Mall.
Lease a 2026 Subaru Outback Premium CVT.
Not too bad. Really glad it's Friday.
$229 per month plus tax for 36 months. Total lease payment
Right on, brother. You ready to do this interview with Cassie?
$13,857. No security deposit.
All right, brother. I'll get you on soon, all right? I'll get you on my show.
Customers through Subaru Motor Finance on approved credit expires 6/126. Excludes optional equipment and dealer installed accessories. VIN number TY4621.
Right on, brother. We'll get you soon. Here, I'm gonna get you up. We're about 20 seconds out, all right?
On the Monday edition
Thanks,
of the
sir.
First Look program. Hey, with any luck, maybe the city council will decide what to do on the sewer rate increases. Or maybe the board of supervisors will figure out who's going to take care of the old open door network situation. We will have the hot list. We will have news and traffic and weather. It's all happening 6 to 9 a.m. right here at News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
Hey, it's JR Flores. Catch my show, The JR Show, starting at 1 p.m. Now back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
I just feel a different energy right now, JR. Feel a little hyped.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, Cassie.
You are listening to the Ralph Bailey Show on Kern Radio, 96.1 FM, 12:30 a.m., or you can stream us live at youtube.com. I am very proud to be sitting in studio with my producer, J.R. Flores. Oh, it feels so good.
Yeah, it feels good.
Like the boys are back in town. Oh, thank you for joining me today, J.R. Dawson. You did a great job. He's only 6 months fresh. I finally feel good about having seniority over someone around here, not just Chris, because he's too sweet. Did you know this is my 9-year anniversary this week?
Really?
Yeah.
It was my 14-year anniversary here at Kern Radio this week.
Oh, it was my 14-year anniversary with you being at the bar with Ralph Bailey, too, Mr. Flores.
Yeah, it's been a while.
You got that long hair back again. How did we go full circle, though?
It happens.
It really does. Well, I'm very blessed to be able to sit in this chair for my good friend Ralph Bailey while he takes the day off, hopefully relaxing on his couch, keeping up on politics and watching some TV. Maybe even make his way down to Cassie's. We'll see how he's feeling. Well, for those that don't know who I am, my name is Cassie Bittle, and my family owns and operates a small restaurant in downtown Bakersfield called Cassie's Steakhouse. We're located at 2515 F Street, just a couple stones throw from Ralph Bailey's house. So we've become good friends through the years as he moseys across to say hi to the girls, watch some Dodger games, talk politics. We've had a good long friendship of keeping up on Bakersfield, Kern County, and California news. So this is a great opportunity for me to be able to come on here and really showcase the people that I've been able to meet and watch come up through the ranks. And my next guest is really one of those people that cares about the community. Officer Brent Stratton, now Chief Stratton for the city of Bakersfield, has been with our force for over 22 years. He joined in 2004 and since then has worked everywhere from the SWAT to the gang units to with us downtown. Being part of the task force, I've really got to know him through the years, and I'm very proud to have him as our police chief and to see what he's going to do through the years. So I'm very proud to introduce Chief Stratton. How are you today, Chief?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me. It's such an awesome opportunity to be here with you. I always enjoy getting to hang and chat with you, Cassie. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. I think you were on air with me the last time I was on here too.
That's
so
right.
I like that you're a regular on the Ralph Bailey show now. So how is it?
That's right.
How's it going so far? Stress levels high?
I'm just trying to get my feet underneath me a little bit. I think, every time I've ever promoted, I've always tried to look up the chain and see what my boss is doing and what I could do to help them, what I can do to kind of take work off their plate. And every time I've been surprised at the amount of things that they did that I didn't know. And that's been no different here. Even though I was one of Chief Terry's assistants for 6 years, and I thought I had a pretty good handle on a lot of the things that he did. There's so many things that I'm learning that he did that I didn't know about. So I'm just trying to get my feet underneath me a little bit and figure out, what to prioritize, what can I delegate, what do I need to keep, where it's something that I need to work on. And so I'm just trying to get my feet underneath me a little bit. I'm trying to get out to as many community groups as I can and really just getting to take a chance to listen. I have some ideas about what I think some of the priorities should be, but I really want to take this time to listen to what folks in the community are saying and what their concerns are and see what we might be able to do to try to help solve some of those problems.
Chief Terry was a wonderful chief, and he served our community for over 29 years. We were very blessed with his leadership, and he should be very proud to be able to retire after the work that he has done. And so, yes, you've got some big shoes to step into, but in the time that you've been under his wing, I can guarantee Chief Stratton has learned everything that he needs to be able to move forward. And you've taken it a step farther. I've been seeing these community outreach events that has been going on lately. Can you tell us a little bit about those?
Yeah, thanks. I feel very fortunate to work for Chief Terry as well. I think, he is just a good man, ethical man, moral man. And I learned a lot from him personally as well as professionally. And I'm very fortunate to have gotten to spend time working with him and lucky to call him a mentor and a friend. And I do feel well prepared, but they are big shoes to fill. But I'm excited and really looking forward to the opportunity and getting to continue to work here in Bakersfield. And so one of the main things that we want to do is to improve relationships. Relationships that are strong, I want to try to make them stronger. Relationships that aren't very good, I want to do what we can to make them stronger as well. And all that stuff starts with community engagement. And so just having as many different community engagement opportunities as we can. Sometimes they're their events and just being there and being a part of the community. Sometimes they're really specific, listening sessions, and we try to host them by zone. The police department breaks our patrol areas up, the entire city, into 6 different zones. And so sometimes we'll have meetings by zone to be able to hear what's happening there, because maybe what's impacting, the metro zone, which is where downtown is, where your business is, might be a little bit different than what's being faced in the valley zone, which is in the southeast part of town, which might be a little bit different than the challenges facing the hill zone, which is the northeast side of town. And so we try to break our meetings down by zone, but we're always looking for opportunities and ways to just try to engage with the community and hear what their concerns are, and then see what we might be able to do to help try and solve those problems.
That's what I found with the downtown community. When all of this started back in 2018 and businesses started to get together, the room was very hot. People were angry, they were confused, there was lack of communication. And through the years, by forming these different groups and making sure that questions are answered and that community members understand the situations that we sometimes are placed in, really does help keep the community involved and feeling safe and protected. And so I just think that these community meetings are so vital. You used to do the coffee with the cops. Those are great too. But when you've got an open forum where people feel safe to be able to talk about some of the things that they've seen in their neighborhood, every neighborhood is diverse. You nailed that on the head. Each different community has different needs. And for our police department to be coming into each community to find out what those are, I think that's a game changer. Can you tell our listeners about where they can find the information on different meetings that May? Is it on the police department website?
Yeah, so great question. Before I get to that, one of the things you talked about was something that really resonated with me. And one of the things I talked about is I don't want to just improve safety. When we talk about improving safety, we're talking about driving down crime rate, and that's fantastic. We want to be able to do those, bring reduction. But I want to improve people's feeling of safety. And that's something that's a little more different and a little more difficult to be able to measure. And how do you measure that sentiment is something that's hard. It's a little less exact than hard quantifiable numbers. But I believe that Bakersfield is actually a safe city. I believe that for as big as we are, we're the 9th largest city and the most populous state in the country. This is a big city, covers 160 square miles. And for those of us that are born and raised here and spent our professional lives working here, sometimes we think of Bakersfield as a small community, but it's not. This is a big city. And so there are certainly going to be problems that we have in a big city, and for sure, but we want to be able to bring some of those reductions, those crime reductions. But I want people to feel safe as well, and to feel that this is a good community where they're safe. They can take their kids to the park, that they can go shopping, they can go to church, they can go to work, and not have to feel concerned about that. And sometimes I don't think that always happens. We can get really used to seeing strictly what's on the news, and to focus on all the things that are happening, and realizing it's actually a very small percentage of instances is it really occurring within our city. And so I want to work on improving people's feelings of safety, in addition to strengthening those relationships. The third bucket that we've talked about is really just trying to solve problems. What are the things that we might be able to do to solve problems? I'm not under any illusions that the police department can solve every problem that's out there, but I believe with the partnerships that we have with community-based organizations, different community groups, people that are interested in this community, that we are in a position to be able to solve the problems collectively and collaboratively. And getting into work, and you find out more about the police department. Our community engagement division puts information out, on Instagram. We try to post things on Facebook. We push out press releases about this, but being able to follow the police department on Instagram is probably one of the better ways to be able to do it. We seem to be able to reach more people collectively in that way. But that's one of the things when we talk about improving relationships, it's figuring out how we can improve some of our communication mechanisms as well, to be able to get information out to people and for them to be able to get information to us. That's something I want to continue to work on as well.
I love the Instagram too. That makes me such a millennial, but we understand the seriousness of your job and what's going on. But when you see some of those posts, it brings the human side to our police force. And that's something that, our community needs to understand too. You're the rule of law, and you're going to be the first face of our criminal justice system. But at the same time, you have families you have to go home to. You have a sense of humor, and you understand that sometimes, people are going to mess up. So the Instagram, I think, is a great way to really bridge the gap between the seriousness of law enforcement and the fact that we work hand in hand with our community on a daily basis, and really hope it encourages more people to join our local police force and look to that as a career path here in Bakersfield. Are we still doing a lot of hiring, or how is that working? Are we on a freeze right now?
Yep, that is fantastic segue into that. We've really worked on building a pipeline for people that are within our community. Bakersfield is unique in the sense that in most places throughout the state, one of two things happens. Cops either can't afford to live where they police, or they don't want to live where they police. And Bakersfield has a unique dynamic where almost 100% of the people that work here also live here, making us members of the community as well. So community-oriented policing is something that's really ingrained in who we are and what we do. There's a lot of people that are continuing to apply. We're hiring a lot of police officers, and so I don't feel that we have a hiring issue. I do think we have a retention issue, and we want to make sure that we can do what we can to retain some of our top talent, so we don't have a brain drain where people are here for 3 or 4 years, start to gain some experience, and then go someplace else. And so that is one of our challenges that we have organizationally, is figuring out how to retain the talent that we have. So we're continuing to hire. We've been in a really good position where we're almost at 100% complement, but that 100% complement is inclusive of those that are in the academy and those that are on field training. So they're not quite on their own and able to handle calls for service just yet. But I do feel really good about our pipeline and where we are there, and for bringing people into our community. We've worked with our cadet program, our junior police academy. We've got a great working relationship with the high school district and their ROC program, their law enforcement program. We work closely with Bakersfield College and Cal State as well, trying to create a little bit more of an educational pipeline into the police department as well. So we definitely want to grow our own homegrown talent here. And then the challenge is going to be able to create a system in a department where we can keep and retain that top talent, and not export it to other departments throughout the state.
I love our police department. Every time I have unfortunately had to make a call, the police officers that come to respond are understanding. And it's taken me 8 years to understand where they're at as well. With certain laws like AB 109, Propositions 47 and 57, it has pretty much stopped our law enforcement from being able to do their job completely. We were blessed with Proposition 36 last year, giving us the ability to do more arrests for those low-level crimes. But one of the things that it's affecting us right now is our lack of jail bed space. Do you feel any confidence in being able to hold people? What are your feelings on the jail bed task force committee and what's going on there?
Yeah, it kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier, that I'm not under the illusions the police department has the solutions for all the problems that we're facing. I think that collectively and collaboratively, though, within our community, we're going to be able to come up with some solutions. And there's a lot of interested parties and stakeholders within this problem, right? We're really working to integrate the hospitals. We're working on, with mental health. We're working with the sheriff's department. We're working with the district attorney's office. We're trying to work with the courts. And there is, we've been working with private business. We're trying to figure out what the solutions are to this problem. I'm certainly not a lock them up and throw away the key type of person, but I do believe that there has to be some level of accountability and some accountability mechanisms that are put in place. And some of those law changes from, several years ago are still impacting us today in our ability to be able to retain people, keep them in custody. And then once they're in custody, Prop 36 does allow for some opportunities for drug diversion and some mental health, classes and some of that healthcare aspect to it that's very important. It's a piece of the puzzle, but we've got to be able to get them to stay in custody first, to be able to dry out, to be able to fight the substance abuse stuff, to be able to get going with a mental health care program, to then be able to help people get out and get on their feet if that's what they're willing to do. I see a path for it to be able to happen, but it is certainly going to take a very collaborative approach, and I do feel confident with all the people that are at the table that we're going to be able to bring some improvement there.
I love that. And I have a seat at that table, and I have to. I do. Yes. The Jail Bed Task Force Committee, I've been on it since September. JR has been to a few of the meetings as well. It is vital that our community continues to write to their city council members and their county supervisors about the need for these services. We have lots of mental health beds. We have lots of programs available, because one thing that Bakersfield does have is grace, and grace, that understanding that in order to get better, you have to have opportunity. And I do believe as a community, we've provided that. We have the homeless centers built. We have the different addiction services, beds available. We've worked very hard to provide those services. Now we need the carrot and the stick in order to get people closer to those services so they can understand that we are going to provide an opportunity for them to do better. In years past, those opportunities were not available, and people were expected to get clean on their own on the streets using outpatient care. That's no longer the case. Now we're seeing the shelter resistant people and people that maybe have slipped into mental health issues, that they need that push. They need that extra help to get on the right path, get back to their families and their communities, and continue to be the good people that they once were. So Bakersfield in no way, shape, or form wants to lock anybody up or throw away the key. We want to present opportunities for our family members and our brothers and sisters to get better and do better, just as we do. So I'm very appreciative for you guys.
Thank you for saying that, Cassie. I think that's an important reminder for people to remember that these are people that it is somebody's child that's out there. It's somebody's sibling that's out there. And I know we can get frustrated when we talk about, kind of the faceless component of, the homeless. And I think it's important to remember that not everybody, first of all, being homeless isn't a crime, and that not everybody who's homeless is a criminal. Mm-hmm. And there are criminals who are not homeless. And that there are people who are criminals who are homeless. And so I think it's important for the public to remember that when we talk about the homeless, that doesn't necessarily mean these are the people that are committing crimes. These are not necessarily the people that are creating quality of life issues. There are some among them that are, but I think it's an important distinction to remember that and make sure that we're remembering some of the dignity and basic human respect component that sometimes I think is missing in our response. And so I'm grateful that we're having these conversations as well, and that we're talking about a compassionate response whenever that's required. But I'm still certainly an accountability person, and I do believe there has to be accountability for them whenever we are finding people who are committing crimes, who are breaking the law, who are making it more difficult for business owners. Those are people who are committing crimes, and I want to make sure that there's an accountability piece towards that, but also that we're using that mechanism to then try to see what we can do to solve that problem for the future, and then be able to offer resources to lead towards a different path.
I couldn't agree more. One more thing that I'd like to urge the public as well is make sure that when you are part of a crime or you see something, make sure you say something. And that doesn't just mean on social media. Please do your diligence and report all crimes to the police department and fill out the information on what happened. A lot of people get frustrated saying that it's all online now, but it is more of a convenience to be able to get the pictures or get any information that you may forgotten in that emotional time of when the crime happened. But it is so important to make sure that we are reporting, so that way the data represents what's going on within our city, because a lot of us have become desensitized to the crime and we no longer feel like it's necessary to report. That is so important for our police force to know where the crime is and what's happening.
Yeah, over the last couple of years, we've tried really hard to take a data-informed approach to what we're doing, where we're going, to look at data to dictate when we're deploying officers, where we're deploying officers, how we can best utilize our resources to serve our public. And our data analysts have gotten really good, and so we use this crime information, we use call information to really inform where we're going, what we're doing, how we should go about doing it. So oftentimes people say, well, I'm reporting it and nothing happens. There might be times where we might not be able to catch them. We might not be able to get there in a timely manner. We might not be able to solve that problem right then, but it's giving us data. It's giving us information that can help inform, where we need to provide our proactive patrols, where we need to increase our responses. And so I couldn't agree more. Please continue to report things. And as our staffing continues to increase, and our effectiveness and our efficiency to get better, it's my hope that our response times are going to improve as well, and to be able to get there, to try to do what we can to solve problems for the people of our city.
Thank you so much, Chief Stratton. I am looking forward to seeing your time in office and to see what you can do for Bakersfield. So thank you so much for your time today, and I look forward to seeing what you're going to do in the future.
Well, thank you so much, Cassie. I do have to say I'm looking forward to it as well, but I know it won't be something that I will do. It'll be everybody within our community and just that collaborative approach with the men and women of the police department and the people of Bakersfield. And so if we can continue to work together, I think we'll see some good things. And I'm looking forward to the opportunity as well. And thank you for having me today.
Awesome. All right. We'll get back to your cows in your house today.
That's right. Running chores.
Oh, I love
Talk
it.
to you later.
All right. Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. That was Chief Stratton with the Bakersfield Police Department. And he couldn't have said it better. We need both compassion and accountability. And I think our police force understands that. And what we need is for you to write your city council members, write your board of supervisors, keep reiterating the fact that we need more jail bed space. If we don't have the ability to hold these individuals long enough to assess the situation and figure out which way they need to go, we really are just chasing our tail around in circles. So we need that last puzzle piece to actually start to see a difference within our community. Our police department cares. We've got some really eager police officers, and our sheriff's department care as well. It's just this state has stuck us in a position where we don't have the tools that we need. And when they do give us the tools in our toolbox, they don't give us the funding on the backside to make it possible. So this election season is more important than ever. The governor of California is the one that signs these laws into order. And any given year, they sign from 500 to 1,000 different laws that affect our lives on a daily basis. And that includes criminal justice as well. Pay attention to the propositions that are on your ballot this November and make sure that we're not going backwards. Pay attention to the verbiage that they put in there and make sure that we're moving forward in the way that you want your community to look. We want compassion, but we want accountability when it comes to our investments into our community, our children, our neighborhoods, and our lives. So it is so vital that you make sure you stay involved in not only the voting process, but also your community. I think we need to take one more little short break, and then we will be back for a few minutes. Or do you want me to keep rolling? Taking a break. We will be back on the Ralph Bailey Show in just a few minutes. My name is Cassie Bittle. Enjoy this music by JR.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN.
Every Thursday at 4:30, Daniel Petrie lightens up the broadcast with his incredible wit, pure intelligence, political knowledge, and obviously an absolute master of economics. That's why he's such an important cog on this broadcast. And you can hear him even on some of his off days when there are financial movements that we can't explain. We lean on my man from Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors. And of course, you know what they're all about. They're all about retirement. I've turned at least 3 or 4 different people on to Messmaker Petrie Wealth Advisors, and they could not be happier. You could be happy as well with your situation in terms of a fourth quarter in your life. If you call 395-9400, 395-9400. The office is Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors.
This broadcast is for information purposes only, does not constitute.
I saw some mom out here the other day on the corner with 2 kids, 5-year-old and 2-year-old. When I pulled up from taking her to lunch, so I turned around. She's got a wagon with a suitcase and shit in there. And I go there. Yeah, it's $800. She's been there for a year, I think, or something, over a year. She was from LA. Came with her boyfriend or baby's kids or whatever, you know what I mean? And I wasn't able to do more jobs. And so she said she stayed in like a hotel.
So to several months before turning 60.
Medicare matters. Our team has the answers. Team Paul Sheldon.
398-2298. Kern County is hiring its next state assembly member. Let's review the applicants. Applicant 1, Ana Palacio. Top funders, Sacramento special interests spending big to buy her the job. Healthcare plan, $700 billion government takeover that eliminates Medicare for millions of seniors and gives control of our healthcare decisions to Sacramento politicians. Pretty radical. There's no way we can afford Ana Palacio. Applicant 2, Andre Gonzalez. Experience, elected to the Bakersfield City Council. Record, addressed housing affordability and brought jobs to Kern County. Healthcare plan, expand access and bring a medical school to Kern County. Accountable to Kern County voters. Oh, easy choice. Vote for Andre Gonzalez for State Assembly. Kern County's voice, every time. Ad paid for by Keep California Golden. Ad committee's top funders, California Association of Realtors, Alliance of California's Farmers and Ranchers, and California Building Industry Association. Not authorized by a candidate or a committee controlled by a candidate.
First Look with Scott Cox, mornings 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Monday edition of the First Look program. Hey, with any luck, maybe the city council will decide what to do on the sewer rate increases. Or maybe the board of supervisors will figure out who's going to take care of the old open door network situation. We will have the hot list. We will have news and traffic and weather. It's all happening 6 to 9 a.m. right here at News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
News Talk 96.1, Kern Radio, AM 1230, KERN. 96.1 FM, K241CI Bakersfield, an American General Media station.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. President Trump says he's not yet made a decision on whether a major sale of U.S. arms to Taiwan can move forward following his 3-day visit to China.
President Xi and I talked a lot about Taiwan. He thinks he cannot have anything to do with what they're doing. I mean, he's, against very much what they're doing.
That brought reaction from members of his own party. Republican Congressman Brian Fitzpatrick says the U.S. should stand up for Taiwan and for democracy.
These are the fortresses of democracy. They're on the front lines, and we have to protect and defend them. So I don't think we should do anything to undermine Taiwan's defense posture. We should be bolstering it, not weakening it, just like I feel that way with Ukraine and every democracy across the world. It's our job today to protect and defend them.
The Supreme Court on Friday rejected Virginia's bid to restore a congressional map that would have given Democrats a chance to pick up 4 seats in the closely divided House of Representatives. The court's order, issued without any noted dissent, is the latest twist in the nation's mid-decade redistricting competition. A possible strike looms for riders of the Long Island Railroad if talks don't produce a settlement. Long Island resident Amelia Bunith says she wonders how long workers on the Long Island Railroad might go on strike.
I don't even know if there's anything I can really do to prepare. I'm just kind of waiting to see what happens. From what I know, the last time this happened was a while ago, and it lasted 2 days before the government intervenes. So honestly, I'm just going to see what happens.
On Wall Street, the Dow down by 537 points. The Nasdaq dropped 410. The S&P lower by 92. Oil near $106 a barrel. More at Town Hall.
Hey, John, why so glum? I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. Mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
In his new movie, The Dragon's Prophecy, Dinesh D'Souza brings the new Middle East into focus.
Could the fate of the world, of humanity itself, be somehow tied to this place?
At long last, we have peace in the Middle East. Israel and Christians are coming together in a way they have never been before.
Is this the end of Hamas and radical Islam? The Dragon's Prophecy is powerful, prophetic, a must-see movie. Now available on Amazon, YouTube, and iTunes.
Stocks fall.
From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update.
Another trial date for Alan Booth. I'm Chris Davis, and it might actually happen this time. If you've been following the story of Booth and the accusation that he drove drunk and hit several people with his pickup at the Bakersfield Christmas Parade back in 2023, then you probably know about the delays that have been going on since last July and actually getting the trial started. The latest delays were because of health problems. Booth is held without bail on charges of assault with a deadly weapon, resisting arrest, and DUI. A man was hit and killed in Northwest Bakersfield just before 8:30 last night, and the Highway Patrol says that man stepped out into traffic and was not on a crosswalk. CHP says that wreck was near the intersection of Snow Road and Quail Creek Road. They are still not sure why it happened, but they say that drugs and alcohol were not a factor. The man died at the scene, and his name has not yet been made public. You may have seen the large smoke plumes if you've been near the Kern and Tulare County line on West Garces Highway. That is where the Rowley fire is burning and has been since just before 4:30 Thursday afternoon. That wildfire has burned about 2,500 acres so far, and firefighters were having a tough time knocking it down. No injuries have been reported, and the evacuation order that had been in place is not anymore. A new radar has been put up at the intersection where a fatal crash in which 3 people were killed happened last month. That radar is up at Harris Road and Summer Springs Drive, where people have gotten used to seeing wrecks. In the one that happened in April, police say speed was the main cause of the crash. Gas is down just a couple of cents. The average price in California this afternoon at 6:30, says Gas Buddy. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
To the rest, well, in a month from now, this Hollywood big shot's going to give you what you want. Too late. They start shooting in a week. I'm going to make them an offer he can't refuse.
The Ralph Bailey Show. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
And I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for, live from the KERN studio. Here's Ralph Bailey.
Well, it's not quite Ralph Bailey, but you are listening to the Ralph Bailey Show on Kern Radio 96.1 FM, 1230 AM, or you can stream us live at youtube.com on the Kern Radio channel. My name is Cassie Bittle, and I get to fill in for Ralph for just one more hour, and I am so excited to bring on my next guest. So I am also an active member of the Downtown Business Association, and we started about 9 years ago, almost 10 years ago, what's called the Block to Block program. And it was a way for all of our businesses in the downtown area to come together in small sections to get to know the needs of our community. Since then, we have had monthly meetings, press conferences, bringing in different people in the community to really help steward along the issues that we have to be solved. And one of the major players in that realm was the Open Door Network. We started having morning meetings with the police department and part of the community vitality group, and Open Door Network showed up, they heard our concerns, and they found areas that they could be of assistance to us. I am so proud to bring on, his name is Jamal Musa. Am I saying that correct?
Yes, that's Jamal Musa.
Welcome to the show, Jamal. Now, you have been an active member in our Downtown Business Association, coming to our bright and early meetings, and I can't thank you enough for your participation in that.
Thank you.
And with that, you heard the business owners talk about the need for street cleanup and making sure that our customers and our patrons felt safe, clean, and welcome in our downtown area. And I don't know what's going on. I'm sure there's some kind of contract somewhere, but why am I seeing the Open Door Network out cleaning our streets and making sure that it is the way we like it?
Okay, so with the Open Door Network is a lot of entities. Our primary role for me as Jamal Musa is workforce development. And basically workforce development is we assist in getting individuals back to work and also cleaning the community. So we are all over Bakersfield. We are all over in Kern County, not Kern County, but over here in Bakersfield, picking up litter all over the place. And it makes a big difference for the individuals because we are providing employment at the same time we're cleaning the city And it's amazing to see the partnership between the city, the county, and the Open Door Network in putting people to work and doing the litter abatement.
I love it. And I'm one of those stalkers that has to stop from across the street and take a picture. And any chance that I get, I stop and I say a thank you to your employees. They all have smiling faces. They're all proud of the work that they're doing, and they get excited when I stop and do that. So if you see the Open Door Network out there doing a hard job, do me a favor, maybe give them a honk or a wave and let them know that as a community, we truly appreciate the work that they're doing. How many employees do you have working out on the streets right now?
At the moment, we have around 105 employees, which is a lot of employees. Like I said, all these employees, they come from different backgrounds, diverse backgrounds, individuals that have been homeless, individuals that have struggled with substance abuse, individuals that have been incarcerated, have had justice challenge. So it's amazing to see, like, they want to change their lives, and by changing their lives is the first step. Is, you know, what can we do to mitigate that whole factor of having a background that you cannot get employed somewhere else? So for my role and the Open Door Network is we're giving them a second chance to get these guys back on their feet, assist them to make that paycheck, assist them to get into housing, assist them just to ensure to give them that kind of the decency of being an upright and citizen.
Oh, yeah.
And supporting, getting them to work, getting them to get a paycheck. And it's amazing when you see that transformation. It's really amazing when you see somebody who used to like push the carts on the street, and all of a sudden now you see that individual has a steady paycheck. That individual is now getting into housing. That individual is able to afford even a bike to get to work. So it's really amazing when you see that transformation in an individual.
And I put that to these different organizations that put in the work, because you can provide people with opportunities, but without the stewardship on the side of that and case management, a lot of times people can slip through the cracks.
Yes, absolutely.
And I love what the Open Door Network does. Jamal, how did you get involved? What made you want to fill this role?
So for me, a few years back, I lost my job. When I lost my job, the next thing I knew was I got evicted from my apartment. I ended up staying at a homeless shelter. So for me, this is really, really personal, because after that, getting into shelter, at that point, Open Door was Bakersfield Homeless Shelter. I went over and applied for litter abatement job. Started from the bottom. They did not care so much about like my background, or they were not judging me and all that. They just gave me a job. And from there, I started to apply myself to make sure, like, you know what, this is a second chance. Let me apply myself. I applied myself, and they saw the potential in me. And the next thing you know, I was being promoted to a supervisor. The next thing, I was a coordinator. The next thing, I'm the manager now, running the whole department.
Wow.
Coming from the individual who started from the bottom. So this is really personal. That's why I love this program. That's why I dedicate everything that I have to this program. And it's really rewarding. I love it.
There is something about it. We can get frustrated when we see the trash cans knocked over. We get frustrated when we see the broken windows and the different things that happen to our downtown businesses. But at the end of the day, these are individuals on the streets. And it's not just the individuals you see pushing the shopping carts. There are mothers and children, people that maybe, are just one car breakdown away from being homeless. Those are the individuals that are coming into the Open Door Network.
Absolutely, yes.
We like to blanket homelessness as just, mental illness and pushing shopping carts and broken windows. But at the end of the day, there are so many different faces to homelessness here in our community and around the United States. So the Open Door Network provides dignity, it provides an opportunity, and it provides a way for our community to also get involved in this process. I absolutely love your insight when we have these roundtable meetings. Having these different organizations come to the table and shed light on the multifaceted issues that are in our community is so important. And it's so important to continue to support these programs. Do you have anything that you want to share about the Open Door Network that you guys are working on?
Yeah, I would love for the community to know that we absolutely thank every single one of you guys for the support that you guys give us On top of, working with the city and the county, we also have businesses, private businesses that are also want to support to make sure, we're putting these individuals to work. We also have we're not just providing them jobs. We also have programs called something like Pathways to Innovation, which we are assisting individuals with. Okay, do you want us to help you with your resume building? Do you want us to help you with a workshop about financial literacy and all that stuff, which we provide for free at our facility over at 1420 Union Avenue. So if you ever need any kind of those services, you're more than welcome to do a walk-in, and we're more than happy to assist any person who is part of our community.
I think that's so important. So there's websites, there's phone numbers that you can get in contact with.
Yes.
Do you have volunteer opportunities for our listeners as well?
Yes, we do have, not in the workforce department, but I believe in our warehouse department, they have the volunteers. Our kitchen section, they do have those kind of volunteer opportunities.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And there's nothing to be embarrassed about. For any listeners that may be on the verge of homelessness, it's better to reach out and find help than it is to suffer in silence. We have great organizations like the Open Door Network and Flood Ministries that are waiting to give a helping hand. So don't ever be embarrassed. This county and the city is full of nothing but grace. So please reach out if you feel like you're in desperation, or before you get to that point, make sure you reach out to these wonderful organizations, because people like Jamal are sitting behind those phones and are the faces of these organizations, making a major difference within our community. So I urge you, please support groups like the Open Door Network. Jamal, how long have you been with the Open Door Network?
Going to 9 years.
9 years.
9 years. 9 amazing years with the Open Door Network.
Oh, I
Loved every minute of it.
Loved every minute. And Lauren Skidmore, she doesn't, I've met her in the last 10 years, but I knew her father as well for many, many years. And you've got a good person working above you. And I hope that you enjoy your time with her as well.
Absolutely. Lauren is our able CEO. Lauren is always fighting for every single person that comes through Open Door. So we have nothing but love for Lauren for what she does.
That's amazing. Yeah. Well, do you have any other last comments that you'd like to make about the Open Door Network or for our listeners?
We just want to say thank you. That's the most amazing, the most basic thing I can say right now is we just want to say thank you to everybody who supports all the entities here in Bakersfield and throughout the whole of Kern County, trying to get everybody back, trying to get people back on their feet. So thank you so much to everybody in our community for everything that you guys do.
Well, I love it. Well, thank you so much, Jamal, for taking time to come down and tell us a little bit about the workforce training. We're looking forward to seeing your trucks out on the roads, making a difference in our community daily.
Thank you.
I appreciate your time. JR, we got to go on a quick break. I actually made it on time this time. So you're listening to The Ralph Bailey Show. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN. First Look with Scott Cox, morning 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Monday edition of the First Look program. Hey, with any luck, maybe the city council will decide what to do on the sewer rate increases. Or maybe the board of supervisors will figure out who's going to take care of the old Open Door Network situation. We will have the hot list. We will have news and traffic and weather. It's all happening 6 to 9 a.m. right here at News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
The Valprado family are back with us. Luigi's Restaurant, an old world delicatessen. And what in the Sam Hill can I tell you about Luigi's that you don't know? The Warehouse has been an absolute game changer. I'd be willing to bet that 90% of my audience has been to some event in the Warehouse. It is just the perfect venue for parties or special events or whatever's going on. And again, what can I tell you about the restaurant that you don't know? I mean, my favorites personally, Thursdays. The salmon, that candy-coated salmon is just unbelievable. They've added so many different new dishes to the restaurant. It is absolutely incredible. And of course, it's an absolute fashion show on the weekends. Where would you rather be? It's the place to be on a Friday or a Saturday afternoon. And again, if you're having any kind of party, it's a great venue in the Warehouse Where would you rather be? In the capable hands of Gino Valpredo's incredible staff at Luigi's Restaurant and Old World Delicatessen.
Meet Paul Sheldon's client, Dr. Roland Rodriguez.
Hello, this is Bakersfield General Surgeon Dr. Roland Rodriguez, client and friend of Mr. Paul Sheldon. It is my great pleasure and privilege to relate to all of you my absolute exemplary experience with Team Paul Sheldon. I have also referred a number of my colleagues to Paul Sheldon's office, only to receive the most stellar feedback from my doctor friends regarding the office's expert navigation through the complex maze that is Medicare. And even though Paul Sheldon himself is now facing some temporary health challenges, his long-standing and most experienced and expertly trained team of ladies, Christine, Kelly, and Lynn, continue to masterfully guide the clients through the complicated world of Medicare. You most definitely could not possibly do any better than to reach out to Paul Sheldon several months before turning 65. Thank you.
When Medicare matters, our team has the answers. Team Paul Sheldon.
398-2298. Ready or not, summer is coming, and Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance is on now. Right now through May 25th, get up to 70% off everything home at Wayfair. Plus, score amazing doorbuster deals all sale long and surprise flash deals on Memorial Day. We're talking thousands of products at every style and budget. Now is the time to save big on must-haves for your patio, backyard, and beyond. These savings won't last, so don't wait. Shop Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance now through May 25th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. Default terms at mintmobile.com.
Hey folks, Scott Cox here, host of the First Look with Scott Cox radio program. You are listening to The Ralph Bailey Show right here on Newstalk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
You are listening to the Ralph Bailey Show on Kern Radio. That's 96.1 FM, 1230 AM, or you can stream us live at youtube.com on the Kern Radio channel. My name is Cassie Bittle, and I've got the pleasure of filling in for Ralph for the next 40 minutes until he comes back next week. So don't worry, all will be back to normal next week. But in studio with me today, I have a very special guest, Mr. J.R. Flores.
I was like, where? I don't see anybody else in there, Cassie.
You, sir.
Oh, yes, and Ralph will be back, just a little lesser of a man, though, because he's having the bumper moved.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know if we were putting personal business out there too much.
Come on now,
we
really?
Talk about it.
Ralph,
I don't know if I'm supposed to talk
Ralph
about
puts
it.
his own personal business out there. We
You're
don't have
right.
anything to worry about.
You're right.
There's
You're
nothing
right.
we can't say here that Ralph hasn't already said.
True. At least we leave the girl
But
problem
no,
talk.
and the people are concerned. They want to know if we've spoken with him and if he's okay. And I said, I haven't, so I don't know. But I'm sure he is. He's just fine.
Well, since you're my producer, aren't I allowed to tell you what to do?
What? Yeah, of course.
Can you find out if Ralph's okay?
Okay, I will do that.
Oh, thank you so much, JR. Well, thank you so much for listening today. For those that don't know who I am, my name is Cassie Bittle, and my family owns and operates a small restaurant downtown that Ralph likes to bring up, every once in a while. It's called Cassie's Steakhouse, and we have been in Kern County since 1939. We originally started over off of Union Avenue when we were across the street from the Bakersfield Motel and moved to our present location in 1967. Our founder, Doc Kennedy, I know it sounds like something out of a Western movie, but he came here from Kansas City to Kern County and started Cassie's Steakhouse. So unfortunately, I am not the original owner. Luckily, I'm not that old, but I do have the pleasure of running this restaurant alongside my mother, my mentor, and my rock, honestly. We have been running Cassie's for 14 years now. We took over in, I believe, April of 2012, and thanks to this wonderful community and God's blessing, we have been able to stay alive through the pandemic and multiple different law changes in this crazy state, California. But thanks to the support of our community, we have been able to keep our doors open for a long time. And I hope to keep those doors open for many more years to come, thanks to Ralph Bailey, JR, and all of our supporters. So if you get an opportunity, get on down to Casey's Steakhouse. We have live music tonight starting at 6:30. Jimmy Gaines and Bobby O will be playing all your classic favorites, like the music JR likes to play at the front side, mixing in a little bit of Ed Sheeran and different fun new songs as well. So if you're looking for something to do and somebody's air conditioning to waste, come on down to Casey's Steakhouse. We'll have the lights down low, candles lit, good music, good drinks being served by Liz and Sarah and Megan there tonight. You can come have a nice meal if you want to take your wife out on a date night. There's nothing more romantic than sitting next to a red candle, a white tablecloth, and good music to enjoy a night downtown. So got something to do this weekend? Come see us.
It's been almost a weekly tradition now for me and my daughter.
It has.
As a little date night, daughter date night.
And I think that's my favorite part of my job. You know, I'm like Rick Bentley. I'm one of those weird people that get to say I absolutely love what I do for a living.
Yeah.
Whether it be cleaning the dirty dishes, knowing that a family got to sit down and have time together, or getting to know those families that come in and celebrate up with us on those special occasions, or those weekly visits like Lily and Tober. I don't know if you got to hear earlier, a gentleman named Brad called and he was talking about his grandson. It's amazing watching these kids grow up from intellectual little humans to seeing them at their high school prom, to watching them graduate high school, go on to college, start their careers. Time is so short, and you don't realize it until you see these little humans grow up and become customers of their own. So I'm so appreciative to the families that continue to make our restaurant their place that they meet, for the friends that come to celebrate with us, for people like JR that bring their daughters in for those daughter date nights. Those special moments are the moments that we like to be part of. And that includes, you know, the hard moments too. After, you know, people are visiting their families in the hospitals that are around us, we see them walk in with their name tag, and it's nice to be able to get to know those individuals even in some of their saddest moments. So I'm so grateful to be part of the Casey family and the Bakersfield community, because this, in my opinion, is the absolute best place to live, especially in the state of California. We've had some amazing guests today. I was really excited to have Kathy Abernathy on. She is such an incredible woman. She's hard. She's very rough around the edges for some people, but when you get to know Kathy, her heart is so big and she cares so deeply for this community and this state and our futures. And when you listen to her wisdom, you really get an understanding of where the state needs to go. So thank you, Kathy Abernathy, for taking the time to come on to the show and kind of go through the register.
I got an update for you.
Okay.
He said he's doing great.
Okay.
He fell asleep during the procedure.
Well, that's good.
And he's about to post a picture if you guys want to go and see it. So.
I would prefer not to. So I'm glad you gave me that warning to go ahead and scroll past Ralph Bailey today. Ralph, I'm glad to hear you're healthy, happy, and back to work on Monday. So for you listeners, Ralph is good. You will be here Monday. Just to give a little city news and things that are going to be going around or going on in the county. This year, we are part of the US 250th tour. So exciting. So we're going to have a patriotic pop-up experience coming to the Dignity Health Amphitheater on July 3rd and I believe 4th. So they're going to have all kinds of crafts, reenactments, a big freedom show, and it'll be a great opportunity to get out, get to know your community, and enjoy something that's special, because this is the 250th anniversary of this beautiful place we call home. So if you get an opportunity to get out and celebrate all of our successes and some of our failures, that's okay too. Get on down there and watch those fireworks. We are going to have, or we already did have, the concerts at the marketplace already started as well. The first one was on May 7th, and they'll run through June 25th. They're from 7 to 9 p.m. every Thursday, and they've got a mix of music, everything from Motown, R&B, and country. So for those people that are constantly saying there is nothing to do in Bakersfield, there is plenty to do in Bakersfield.
That used to be one of our favorite things to do too.
It's so much fun.
Mine and Lily's. We would go out there all the time.
There's so many
just hang out and just, the concerts were a blast out there.
The weather's great, you know, as it's still great. And even later at night, it's not too bad.
Recently, they were doing the ones at Jastro Park. Did you see that?
I did.
They redid did the whole stage and everything, and to some of our chagrins, but they they did that. But the concert, I went to 2 or 3 of them. They were great. I saw Jay Smith's band out there. I saw Manto Uru play out at Jastrow Park, all for free. The community came out. People were having little picnics. Families were out there. It was really a good time, and the weather was great.
And our parks are starting to get cleaned up. I know that the face of homelessness is still, on all of our minds, but we do have clean, nice parks. They're not always perfect, and we need to continue to report when we see issues in them. But we have wonderful communal spaces that the city and different nonprofit organizations are trying to get us out and active. So take advantage of those opportunities. Go to the concerts, go to the parks, go to the different fairs that have going on, because that's how we keep these things alive and keep our community active. Another big one this weekend is the National Jet Boat Association is having their May Madness out at Lake Ming. I don't know if you've ever been out to Lake Ming, but it is absolutely beautiful up there. You get a nice breeze. You can sit and watch those fast boats, bring your lawn chairs out, get to know the drivers, take pictures, take your kids out for a nice afternoon out on the lake. So if you're looking for something this weekend to do, that is a great opportunity as well. I think George Lopez was canceled tonight, wasn't it?
I think it was tomorrow or tonight.
Is it tomorrow?
I think something got canceled tonight.
Something got canceled
Yeah, I'm not sure which one it
We'll
was.
have to look into that when we come back. All right, JR's making me take another break. We're coming into our final 30 minutes. You are listening to The Ralph Bailey Show. Thank you so much.
Six to 9 a.m. on the Monday edition of the First Look program. Hey, with any luck, maybe the city council will decide what to do on the sewer rate increases. Or maybe the board of supervisors will figure out who's going to take care of the old open door network situation. We will have the hot list. We will have news and traffic and weather. It's all happening 6 to 9 a.m. right here at News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. President Trump says he's not yet made a decision on whether a major sale of U.S. arms to Taiwan can move forward following his 3-day visit to China. The president spoke to reporters Friday as he flew back on Air Force One. Trump's Republican administration has authorized the sale, but it has yet to proceed. The Supreme Court has rejected Virginia's bid to restore a congressional map that would have given Democrats a chance to pick up 4 seats in the closely divided House of Representatives. The court's order Friday leaves in place a 4-3 ruling by the Virginia Supreme Court that struck down a constitutional amendment redrawing congressional districts that voters narrowly passed just last month. On Wall Street, the Dow down by 537 points. More details at srnnews.com.
You're listening to Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN. Headlines from the KERN newsroom.
I'm Chris Davis. You may actually see 75-year-old Alan Booth face a jury Monday. 9 months of delays may be over with a new trial date now scheduled for May 18th. In the 2023 Bakersfield Christmas Parade incident, where Booth is accused of driving drunk and hitting several people with his truck. The delays date back to last summer, with the latest happening this week. A new radar has been put up at the intersection where a fatal crash in which 3 people were killed happened last month. That radar is now up at Harris Road and Summer Springs Drive, where people have gotten used to seeing wrecks. In the one that happened in April, police say speed was the main cause. $6.13 is the average price for a gallon of regular in California this afternoon, says Gas Buddy. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
Summer is coming up, and a lot of you will have folks from out of town, relatives visiting, and there are just some things that you must see if you're visiting the city of Bakersfield. And one of them is the best steakhouse in Kern County, and that's KC Steakhouse. So if you've got relatives coming into town, make sure you take them to F Street and give them the KC experience. And make sure you go next door as well to the Stockyard, the speakeasy-like bar. Make sure it's a Thursday, Friday, or Saturday night, because there's live music in the Stockyard on those nights. And of course, Jimmy and Bobby are providing live music Tuesday through Saturday in the main restaurant. And even if your relatives aren't necessarily steak people, Chef Daniel has expanded the menu. There are all kind of different chicken dishes. I told you about the different fish dishes, the salmon, the halibut, the mahi-mahi. Where would you rather be? That's the place you have to show visitors of our community our great steakhouse, KC Steakhouse, longtime sponsors of the Ralph Bailey Show.
Most people don't want more financial information, they want clarity. They want to know they're making the right moves and that someone's actually paying attention. That's what we do at MoneyWise. We help you organize your financial life, plan for what's ahead, and make decisions with confidence, whether retirement is around the corner or still years away. And now you'll find us in a new place, the historic Woolworths building, right in the heart of downtown Bakersfield. A piece of local history reimagined for what's next. MoneyWise, thoughtful planning, real conversations. Visit MoneyWiseGuys.com to get started.
Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through LPL Financial. LPL Financial and MoneyWise Wealth Management are independently owned and operated.
Hard Rock Casino Tejon, where every bite equals reward time. Start with the sizzle of prime cuts at deep cut steak and seafood. Take your taste buds on a journey at UU. Grab legendary favorites at Hard Rock Cafe or explore endless options at the marketplace. From elevated dining to quick bites, every flavor brings you closer to rewards. Come hungry and leave with more than just a great meal. Sign up for Unity by Hard Rock today. Must be 21 years of age or older. Problem gambling? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, it's JR Flores. Catch my show, The JR Show, starting at 1 p.m. Now back to the Ralph Bailey Show on Newstalk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
Yet another good song Jimmy plays. Thank you, JR. You are listening to the Ralph Bailey Show on Kern Radio. My name is Cassie Bittle, and I get to fill in for a short 25 minutes while Ralph is on a staycation. We heard from him. He is doing fine. He's sitting on his couch. It wasn't a rough day. He fell asleep during his procedure, and so you will have him back Monday afternoon for a solid 3 hours, something for you to look forward to. Well, in studio with me today is my producer, JR Flores. I'm feeling very blessed to have him in with me. Feels like the good old days back when we first started doing all this, JR.
I know, we were just youngsters then, Cassie.
I know. Look at us now.
Look at us all grown up.
Yes. Yeah. I wouldn't go that far. Well, some of us at least. Well, for those that don't know, JR also has a show here on Kern Radio. He is on air from 1 to 3 every day, so you can tune in, hear about all of his fun investigations into politics. And we're not going to get into that stuff because I like positivity.
Positivity,
If
right.
you'd like to hear about all of that good stuff, tune in to JR's show Monday through Friday, right before the great Ralph Bailey
That's
show.
right. Or you can just find me in Casey Steakhouse on Thursdays.
That too.
Having dinner.
Well, this has been such a fun opportunity. I love when Ralph gives me the show for the day to bring on people that I think need to be highlighted, maybe different subjects that need to be talked about or maybe aren't talked about enough. And one of the things that drives me absolutely crazy about this wonderful state of California is how many laws they like to change on a yearly basis. So one of our next guests is actually running for Assembly, and Assembly is one of our lawmaking bodies here in the state of California. Just this year, they have proposed over 1,800 different new laws that change the way that we live. And this last weekend, we had an opportunity to meet the two candidates for governor, and it was Steve Hilton and Chad Bianco. They came to Bakersfield and did some meet and greets with the young Republicans to get to know where their stances are and what they need. And I got to do a little sit down with Steve Hilton. We got to see it on the internet and on the news and all that good stuff. But one of the things that we brought up was Assembly Bill 2991, which directly affects the way that I do business. And so with just one swipe of a pen, they took away our ability to use paper checks or cash or any other means of payment other than electric forms of payment. I'm one of those, I guess you'd call it conspiracy theorists, and I believe that when we take away things and put it onto the internet, it takes away jobs. And it scares me to know that my alcohol reps that I have met with every Tuesday for the last 14 years may lose their job to an online site. And it has gotten down to that. We've fought it for the last 3 years. I understand the conveniences, but also when you give up liberty for convenience over security, I don't like it. And I like having a face and somebody that represents the company coming to me to do the sales and to make sure that everything with my account is good and the relationships that we build when we're in these sales positions mean the world. And it also means a job created for another person. And we have seen with all of these changes in the state, we've seen, companies come and go. We've seen people lose their jobs. We've seen RNDC leave and have to move over to other positions. And it really, really scares me to know that it's going to an online format and it's being pushed by the state. So that was one of the things that I brought up with Steve Hilton. A lot of people probably didn't understand what that was because it directly relates to my industry. But on any given day, you've got assembly members that are out there wanting to change the laws that may directly affect you in a different light that it affects me. So our next guest is going to be running for assembly. I believe it's the 35th district. And the assembly is a supermajority of Democratic representatives. And that does represent our basis here in California, but it does make things a little difficult. So anytime we've got an opportunity to try to support somebody to make it into that arena, there are 60 Democratic assembly members and only 20 Republicans. So this man is really putting his neck out there in an area that, is very underrepresented by the Republican Party. So I'm very pleased to be able to bring on Saul Ione. And he is actually the mayor of McFarland right now and trying to make it up. So did we get him on the line there? All right. Welcome to the show, Saul. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Cassie, for having me.
Thank you.
And the JF is still around. So.
Yeah, no, he's stuck here for the duration with me today. I know,
No
back in his
worries,
producer seat. So tell us all, why the want to run for assembly?
Well, it's not that it's the want, it's the need. Our county has, from the state, our and county, we've had significant challenges that Sacramento Democratic politicians have their misguided policies impacting Kern County for too long, especially small businesses like yours, the oil industry, our ag. They have no idea. All they know is what they hear from other individuals that have no interest in Kern County. So sticking my neck out because Kern County needs a representative that's going to fight to fix problems, advocate for the county, and I have a proven history of doing that the last 5 years as the mayor of the city of McFarland. We've turned a lot of things around from our public safety, our infrastructure, our growth, even our education, and those are the things that my record speaks for itself. And our city has about 90% Democratic favorability, and I still got elected as a conservative, the only conservative, and I'm the only conservative in my diocese. So I know how to have common sense conversations. I'm a problem solver. I'm a doer. You'll find me in any place, and I'm there advocating. I'm not just trying to have talking points, but bring real solutions to problems that not only from water, but from streets, anything. Some people like today call me the can-do person because if you tell me no, I'm still gonna knock down that door, and you gotta really, I want to say not deal with me, but I'll give you a prime example. 2 years ago, we had problems with our water with high levels of nitrate, and we already had secured a $40 million grant to expand not only our water, bringing in 2 new water wells, expanding our wastewater. And so I went up to Sacramento and saying, hey, this is not only an urgency, it's an emergency. We're down to 2 wells. And they kind of said, hey, we're already helping you out with this California revolving water grant. I'm like, yeah, but that's not here. That's not today. We need it here. So I was agendized, and they heard me, and they're just like, hey, we'll talk to you. And they basically deflected it. I kept on going every time the state water board had a meeting. Even when I wasn't agendized, I would go for public comment, made my way, started having conversations with the board members, found out where they had coffee, and shoot, that became my coffee shop. And 2 years later, we ended up getting funding. obviously we did our part in record time, came up with an RO system and implemented into our city water. Now we have one of the cleanest waters in Kern County. But those are some of the things that I've been a part of as a group. So
We need fighters. Yes, thank you for everything that you've done. Not only are you a public servant, but you're also an educator, and you serve your community in so many ways. And that fight is what we need in our representatives, to keep pushing on those doors, to keep pushing, people to take notice of the issues that affect our communities locally that maybe aren't such a big issue statewide. So that right there shows to your service to your community. What's the population of McFarland?
it's about roughly about 16,000. I mean the census, but we're closer to 18-20. Just the fact just comparables to other cities that are at 30,000 with the population of our schools. But yeah, I mean obviously
It
for
doesn't
30 years.
It doesn't matter the size of your community. The fact that you're putting in just as much work for such a small population shows that you're doing this for your community. You're doing it for the goodwill of the people and not for a name or a position. Because a lot of people in the state don't even know where McFarland is. And yet here you are knocking on doors, making sure that the people of McFarland deserve the things that they need, their rights are making sure that they're taken care of. So that right there, I think, shows to your character and your want for success. So I can't thank you enough for taking that position. That's really neat.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just not going to go into the weeds, but I'm just going to give you a little background what I walked into, and that's where you're going to say, oh, this guy's battle tested. When I came in as council in 2020, we had a $3 million deficit. Our city financial audits weren't done in 5 years. Our financial audit, our budget was being copied and pasted. Every department head was a interim title. Our city manager was found dead off the 178. Wow. Our public safety, we only had 3 police officers patrolling part-time. But in 5 years, we have transformed the whole city. We knew it was going to be a challenge. We canceled bad contracts, reconstructed new contracts, passed measures that brought measurable results to the community. Where now, as of today, we have a healthy budget. We have healthy reserves for a rainy day. In case we ever have a major emergency, we're not waiting for FEMA or the state to bail us out, because God knows how bad the situation is with our state budget. We went from 3 police officers to now 30 dedicated police personnel, full-time coverage, and bringing in 67 years. I always use that 67 because my students, they say, Mr. Ayon, that's already old. And in 67 years that our city's been incorporated, we've never had a police facility. But in the last 5 years, we're able to get some state funded. That funding, we invested in one of our bonds, personally negotiated 18 acres of land for $1. We broke ground 4 months ago. Our first police facility, our police officers are actually going from a 1,500 square room to a 11,000 square facility. But it's just not going to be for the police. It's going to be for the community. It's going to be called the community campus. And these are some of the things I've been a part of. And we transformed this city back around. I mean, especially with our public safety, the trust we have with our community. We inherited over 28 unsolved homicides within a 12, 14-year radius. In the last 5 years, with a major investment, not only with our police, but technology, equipment, everything, we've had 1 homicide in 5 years, and it was solved within 2 months. I mean, this is just having accountability and responsibility to the people that you serve. And then on top of that, I've worked for the Sheriff's Department for 25 years. For 30 years, I've dedicated my life to public service. I'm not a career politician. I've been working in agriculture since I was 7 years old. So when it comes to knowing the working family and people that work, I'm there. So yeah, and this is why I think it's time for me to represent our county and let the Sacramento politicians in Sacramento like, hey, this is what we need. We need to bring resources. And I know the disadvantage about the super minority, but when you're able to get people in a room and have conversations and not attack people and just come at them polite, you could get things done. And little by little, and this is the time, if people can't see, because I'm one of these, I don't call myself a politician, I call myself a patriot. So I've been walking the streets in Delano, Wasco chapter, just canvassing and talking to people. I'm going to everybody's houses, and they'll ask me, hey, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? And just talking to them, this cost of living that's impacting everybody. If people don't realize that we need a change in a balance, God help us here in California. But yeah, this is the little background. So
I couldn't agree more. And if you don't have a seat at the table, you'll be on the menu. So even if it's a super majority, we still have to fight for that seat at the table to express what we need for our communities. And so when people like you are willing to put themselves out there in what feels like an impossible situation, just know that you have community members standing behind you, cheering you on, because we know how hard it is to put the time and the effort into something. And I will be praying for you, and I hope that the voters take the time to flip that ballot over, skip over the 62 candidates for governor, and get into the real work. Those movers and shakers within our community that are fighting for a seat at the table to represent us, our needs to this great state of California. Thank you so much, Saul. I really can't urge the listeners enough to pay attention to his background. Understand that he's an educator that's dedicated his life to bettering his community and the place that he calls home. So we are cheering for you. We'll be watching and fight for that seat for the 35th district.
Yeah, I just want to add that's obviously the situation, because I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win this seat. I mean, it covers East Bakersfield, downtown, and there's individuals that are also running for this seat, and from Panorama all the way up to, it covers the east side of Bakersfield, but all the rural communities: Delano, McFarland, Shafter, Wasco, Bun, Willow, Los Hills, Arvin, Lamont. If you have family members, friends, have a conversation with them. Let them know they could go to my website. But I'm gonna really miss the teaching our new generations and launching 2 programs in the city for the school. And one is a cadet program, and another one is how to operate in the city as far as governance. So we bring back college students, and they come back to the city, and then they work during the summers, come back to their families, and they find out about public works, HR, city management, the finances, how cities operate, and how they should be governed. But it's really transformed the narrative from like the news and everything else, what they actually know what goes on when you govern the city correctly. But thank you so much for the opportunity, and the opportunity to speak and have this conversation.
Awesome. Thank you, Saul. And we will be looking forward to watching your race. Have a good day, hon. We'll see you soon.
Thank you so much. Have a great Kern County day.
Thank you. For those listeners that have ever thought about getting into politics or community service, it is a very scary step forward. Sometimes it can be very volatile. Sometimes it can be problematic in your personal life, your business life. So when we see these individuals willing to step up to the plate and fill these seats on these pedestals that are so easily knocked off, I just give them praise, because it is a very hard job to do and to put yourself out there, because with technology and AI, there's not much you won't know about people if you spend the time digging, right, JR? There's not enough that you can't find if you look in all the right places. So it's very scary, and I hope that Saul continues to push our next generation to want to reach for these seats, to reach for the assembly seats, to reach for the Senate seats, to maybe become governor of this great state of California and be one of those 62 names that are on our ballot this year. But we're going to take one more quick break, and then I'll have my last 10 minutes of the Ralph Bailey Show. Thank you so much for listening.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN. First Look with Scott Cox, mornings 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Monday edition of the First Look program. Hey, with any luck, maybe the city council will decide what to do on the sewer rate increases. Or maybe the board of supervisors will figure out who's going to take care of the old open door network situation. We will have the hot list. We will have news and traffic and weather. It's all happening 6 to 9 a.m. right here at News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
It's that man again, Ralph Bailey for Sangera Subaru, and summer has arrived, and it's time to plan the summer road trip. And what better car to do it in than a brand new Subaru? And if you want something sporty and comfortable, then the choice is clear: the Outback. And now, through June 1st, lease a 2026 Outback Premium CVT for only $229 a month for 36 months and just $5,000 due at signing. Plus, every Subaru comes standard with symmetrical all-wheel drive. However, offer ends June 1st. So stop by, see my dear friends Damon Culbertson and Hassan Levy, and test drive a brand new Outback today. Sangera Subaru, paving the way for a better community. 5500 Gasoline Alley Drive in the Bakersfield Auto Mall.
Lease a 2026 Subaru Outback Premium CVT with TSRP $37,158, $229 per month plus tax for 36 months. Total lease payment $8,836, $5,021 total at lease signing. Total lease cost $13,857. No security deposit. Lease based on 7,500 miles per year, 15 cents per mile over. Available to qualified customers through Subaru Motor Finance on approved credit. Expires 6/126. Excludes optional equipment and dealer installed accessories. VIN number TY462135.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers the professional grade products you need to get the job done. With fast delivery you can depend on and access to technical product experts ready to help you meet any challenge. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities, so do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Kern County is hiring its next state assembly member. Let's review the applicants. Applicant 1, Ana Palacio. Top funders, Sacramento Special Interest spending big to buy her the job. Healthcare plan, $700 billion government takeover that eliminates Medicare for millions of seniors and gives control of our healthcare decisions to Sacramento politicians. Pretty radical. There's no way we can afford Ana Palacio. Applicant 2, Andre Gonzalez. Experience, elected to the Bakersfield City Council. Record, addressed housing affordability and brought jobs to Kern County. Healthcare plan, expand access and bring a medical school to Kern County. Accountable to Kern County voters. Easy choice. Vote for Andre Gonzalez for state assembly. Kern County's voice every time. That paid for by Keep California Golden. Ad committee's top funders: California Association of Realtors, Alliance of California's Farmers and Ranchers, and California Building Industry Association. Not authorized by a candidate or a committee controlled by a candidate.
Clay Travis and Buck Sexton live at 9 a.m. Now back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KER.
You are listening to the Ralph Bailey Show. We are on our final 4 minutes. I'm joined in studio with Mr. J.R. Flores, if I can get that out right. Can't start messing up at the final hour here. Thank you so much for tuning in with us today. It has been such a blessing to be able to bring on the guests and to hear their stories, to try to get some information that I find to be pertinent to California and Kern County. If you ever have any questions, please feel free to email me. My email is on the city website, and I believe it is on Facebook and Instagram and anywhere else. So please, if you ever have any questions or concerns, I am an open book. You can also email the city clerk's office as well, and they'll send it over. I am the Ward 3 Planning Commissioner for the city of Bakersfield. So we welcome all comments and public participation when it comes to the development process of the city of Bakersfield. So I am very blessed to be able to be part of that. The show was fully my opinions, and I can't put anything on the city of Bakersfield, but I can stress.
You mean you have a disclaimer too?
I have a disclaimer too.
Okay.
There's one behind me, and then there's one on my forehead as well. So the community activism is very important, and I'm also blessed to be able to be part of the Jail Bed Task Force Committee and being able to listen into some of the issues that face our community. And we are full of a community of problem solvers, not problem finders. well, we have a mixture of both, but seated at the table is a mixture of people looking
To
for
be able to
solutions.
solve the problem, first you have to know there's a problem.
It takes the voters to solve the problem. So I thank the voters for voting in Proposition 36 in this last election cycle at an overwhelmingly over 70%. So the people have spoken. We want to see criminal justice reform. And unfortunately, as usual, the state did not give us any type of funding to be able to make a clear path forward. So as a city and as a community, we've had to rack our brains together, not only businesses, but different community stakeholders have all put in their opinions and trying to find solutions. And the one solution that we have found is we need more jail beds here in Kern County. We understand that the sheriff is overwhelmed, that we have state prisoners that are sitting inside of our jail, which makes no sense. But in the meantime, this open door of people being arrested and released in 12 hours is not working for the morale of our community or our police department. So I urge city council and I urge our county leaders to look at how we can fund putting more jail beds at Taft Community Corrections there in Taft. They have came to the table. They said they have the ability to help us in our moment of need. So I urge everybody to look for solutions and fund this. So if you can reach out to your city council member, the city clerk's office, the county board of supervisors, please stress the urgency that we get more jail beds, not to lock them up and throw away the key, but to be able to get them the help that they need. We've got lots of people on our streets and we have lots of people that are committing crimes and they need to be put on the path forward. So thank you everybody for listening today. If I can end with one last thing, it is be an active community member. Take interest in what's happening in Bakersfield and do your part. I appreciate everybody and their time today. And thank you so much for listening to the Ralph Bailey Show. Enjoy your weekend.
AM 1230, KERN, 96.1 FM, K241CI.